And welcome, everybody, to another thrilling episode of the Tooney Talk Wrestling Podcast, your favorite weekly live stream podcast on YouTube. My name is, of course, Akadis, a.k.a. Dis, and I am your host for the evening. We have quite a lineup tonight, and we got news breaking as I was preparing the show. I got a message from Awful, unfortunately, saying he wasn't going to be here, so I had to rush and find a replacement. But I did. We have a replacement. Don't worry. And we have a few guests tonight, actually. And so I had to take care of that. But he also sent me a breaking story where apparently Netflix has no interest in AEW. So we will get to that, but I cannot do this show alone. Of course, I have all of the wonderful people in the chat. Make sure you are liking, subscribing. If you want to give us a super chat, we will read it aloud on air. Anything over $19.99 or anything over $50, sorry, will interrupt the show, and we will stop for you. But we just thank you all for being here tonight. But like I said, I cannot do this alone, so let me bring in our wonderful panel. First off, we got Jake. I don't have an intro. I feel so weird. I feel naked because I don't have an intro here. Here, you know what? Let me back you out. I'm going to do something different. Okay? Hold on. We'll back you out. We're going to do this again. We're going to pretend like we're going to start over. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Okay, pretend like that didn't happen. Okay, guys, I have a panel tonight. I don't know if you've heard about a panel before. That's when we have other people. So I have a panel. And for you guys all love them. You're getting used to them. You recognize them in public. The most famous member of the Tooney Talk Wrestling Podcast. Jake from All Jake Takes On. That was the first time I did that. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I am here. I have been seen. Hopefully not as much as Pedro Pascal gets seen, but yeah.
That went so smoothly. I'm very proud of myself for how great that was.
That's fantastic. What an entrance.
Yeah, no one even noticed. No one even thought about it for a second. Now, Jake went to Dynamite last week, and he does have an update for us on that Dynamite. So we will be getting into that. I have to remember, I'm trying to keep my voice quieter because, I've been losing my voice the past couple of weeks. The steroids are messing up with my vocal cords and whatnot. So you might get a little sexy disc tonight when I get down to this. This is the, when I'm smooth. This is the voice I use.
This is Emirates.
It's what you got to do.
It's
what you got to do. But we with this, that's not it. Jake's not the only one. We got someone else here with us tonight, and let's give him this one.
At the Red House, where black people and white people buy furniture.
And Hispanic people, too.
Noted minority from the Last Call podcast, Chris Connor is here. Chris, how are you doing? I don't know why I picked Red House for you, but that's what you got.
At least I didn't get a jobber entrance. It's all I care about. I got an entrance, so I'm happy. And yes, I promise, Awful, if you're listening, I promise no more four-letter talk that starts with a Y and ends with a T. I promise. I'm going to be behaving myself.
Well, you can let's do real quick plugs here. Jake, tell them about your channel.
Yeah, absolutely. At Alt Jake Takes On right here on YouTube. If you can probably click on my name there in the chat for it. Goes to the YouTube page with me and my buddy George. We do a recorded podcast every week, and then we do a live show every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern that covers Dynamite specifically. We review every part of Dynamite. We watch the show so you don't have to. And then every Sunday around 8 p.m. we do a discussion show that's any topics, a roundtable discussion. It's a lot of fun. Come hang out. Come subscribe.
Before we get into Chris's, I do want to address the chat here. Not the right one. This one here. Lady Starstruck, thank you for tuning in tonight, by the way. Make sure you're dropping us a like. She said, stupid question, but that's not a real story. No, it is. It's a real commercial. It was a real commercial. If you guys are familiar with Rhett and Link from the Good Mythical Morning, actually a channel that me and my kid watch. almost daily actually. But they used to make goofy commercials and but like real commercials, ones that actually aired. They'd go around the country and do that. So that was a real commercial and that aired on TV. So yeah. Chris, plug your shit real quick, and then we will get into the business at hand. We have some super chats stacked up too, so we will get to that right after. I want to give Chris the floor for a second, though. And
yeah, I'll make it quick. Check me out, lastcallpodcast.com, on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We talk football, we talk MMA, we talk some wrestling. So let's get it on, though. It's your show, Dis. I'm just, the driver who beeps the horn once in a while.
Well, I appreciate that, but it's not my show. It's their show. And let's get to the people who own this show, our wonderful listeners. First off, we got Oddball SCP for $5. As someone who knows the Rascalz personally, it's sad that their debut is being overshadowed by all this. Praying there is no splash damage on them. Yeah, I personally have kind of been cheering for the Rascalz for a long time. I wouldn't call myself the biggest Rascalz fan, but I got what they were doing. I understood it. I thought it was neat for the kids or whatever. And I know it seems weird that I'm talking about a hot box gimmick and saying it's for the kids, but you know what I mean. I'm 43 years old. Anything over 20 years past my time are kids. So yeah, very talented group of people, and it's interesting. I have some conspiracy theories, quite a few actually, and I know Chris has been blowing me up because he wanted to talk about this. This is a hot button issue for Chris, isn't that right?
Oh, I'm ready and firing out. I'll just say this because we'll get into it later.
Yeah.
If you believe that it's a WBD executive who got Trey Miguel fired, you probably also believe that Lamar Jackson had nothing to do with John Harbaugh getting fired, that Bigfoot is real, and you know what? That the Tooth Fairy gives you dollars under your pillow. You believe all of that. That's all I'm going to say. You
got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn. Got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn.
I will have no Bigfoot slander on my channel.
Okay, the Easter Bunny produces eggs out of his rump.
The Easter Bunny, you know what's funny about the Easter Bunny is that like the Easter Bunny is the one that every kid gives up on super early, but doesn't tell anybody because they like hunting for eggs, right? Like I know Max didn't believe in the Easter Bunny when he was like 7, but he just liked the egg part, so he didn't want to say anything. It's a good
candy. Yeah, it's like, hey, free candy. Ooh.
Yeah, candy, you get to hunt eggs. It's all great. The Easter Bunny provides definitely in a way that even Santa doesn't. Like Santa doesn't have a game associated with it, right? The Easter Bunny has a full game. They got like there's ritual around it. There's something there, and so you got to hold on to that Easter Bunny. But yeah, I don't know why I went on a rant about the Easter Bunny. We are going to definitely talk about the Trey Miguel Rascalz situation here in a bit, probably in our second segment. But Regina Sharp for $20. The Alt Jake meet and greet has been canceled by order of MJF, unnamed WBD executive. Yeah, that's the ticket. Yeah, that's the ticket. Anybody do a love it? Anybody got a good love it? Yeah, that's the ticket. I can't do it.
No.
Nobody. Okay. Anyway, this message has been brought to you by
Glum Gold.
Always has been, always is, always will be. Thank you very much, Regina Sharp. I'm getting better, man. I'm proud of myself. Andre Adams for $19.99. Now that AEW has won up the juggernaut of TNA, who do you think they will go back to pretending they were just as good as WCW? I got thoughts on that too. I don't quite know that they have won up to the juggernaut that is TNA. We'll get into it more, but I just want you to look at that demo and then look at the number and think about old AEW demos and try to figure out how this makes sense. That's all I'm going to say for now, but we will get into it more later. Thank you very much, Andre Adams. And you and Cumia coming in with $1.99.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh,
Even Cumia's going for haymakers already.
Ewan woke up choosing violence.
Yeah. All right. For $1.99, you paid me. I'm going to say this for $1.99. This shows you where my price, right? This shows you where my limits here. Gigi's tampon is all he leaves. Thank you, Ewan. Did they do that? Maybe is that something? Because I know that Gigi Dolan on the Indies has ripped out her tampon and shoved it in people's faces, and that was like a thing that they did.
It really was.
So
Yeah.
because I could see them doing that in AEW.
Don't give them ideas, people.
Yeah.
Every time you think they've gone low, they'll go lower.
Yes. They never there is no floor. There's a ceiling. There's definitely a ceiling.
It just keeps going up and up. It's like the what is it, like the Tower of Terror ride, or like no, it's the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland. The ceiling just keeps going up and up,
Right.
and they don't tell you.
It's a instead of a glass ceiling in AEW, they have a glass floor. And if you fall through it, you're fucked. You can't get
and somebody's probably standing under it if you're a woman. Just understand.
It's Tommy Rich. But you guys, I don't know if you guys read the wrestling sleaze list created by Coach Tony K, our good friend. But there's plenty of stories about old wrestlers hanging out under glass tables.
Yeah.
Oh man, we'll get into that. Maybe we'll get into that again on This Is Awful someday. We started doing it and the show cut off. It was really weird. So we'll have to get into that eventually.
I remember that. That did happen.
It did
All
happen.
of a sudden, just nothing.
All right, so thank you guys very much for your super chats. Remember, you are in charge of this show. You support the show. You keep this show going. So anything else you want to know, you just send us a super chat, or if you want your comment read aloud on air, or if you just want to say hi or whatever. That is how you do it. Also, if you aren't going to super chat, that's just fine. Make sure you drop a like underneath, or else I'm coming for you. I got thugs. I got people in the chat. They're watching and they're counting every one of you. So make sure you're dropping a like under the chat. That really, really does help us out. I need to turn this chat. Oh no, I got it. Yeah. So the YouTube chat is weird. I don't know if you guys at home see this or not, but like now, as Jake was talking to me before the show about, you have to like make it so you don't just see the top chats.
Yeah. I learned that helping you guys out on Saturday. Shout out to Mike Glass and Erica, because I had it on just the highlights of it, and somebody was in there just spamming crap, and they mentioned it to me, so I could get them out of there.
Yeah. I don't know
every day.
I don't know why that happened, but I don't know why they did that. YouTube's doing weird stuff recently, so
And it's the default setting too. Like,
yeah,
that's the problem.
Why would you make it the default? Whatever. But I think StreamYard actually shows the full chat, so I think we're okay there.
Probably, yeah.
I think so. So I'm trying. So what I'm saying is that if I don't that you make or something like that, I apologize. YouTube has been strange recently. And YouTube is so Lisa, one of our favorite chatters here, one of our loyal fans, been with us since the beginning. YouTube suddenly thinks she's spam. So she's not allowed to comment on any of our videos anymore.
Oh, come on, YouTube. Classic.
I know. I don't know what to do. I've looked through all the settings. I've looked through I was making sure it wasn't on our end, and it is not on our end. So I don't know if that happens to anyone else. Please send me a message. You can find me on Twitter at aka_dis_. You can email me at aewdisciplinarycommittee@gmail.com. Or you can hit me up on Discord. If somebody, by the way, from our Discord wants to drop the Discord link in the chat, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, if anyone has that problem, please let me know, and I will do everything I can to look into it. But I don't know. I don't have an answer. I'm not YouTube. But what I am is Akades, and I have some news for us today. The big news. Oh, you know what? Let's get through. We have one more super chat. Let me get through that before we move on here. It is from Andre Adams for $4.99. AEW peaked with 1.4 million on his debut episode, and it's been a sliding board ever since. It's yeah.
God bless Andre Adams for dropping a truth bomb.
No, it's interesting because I think that a lot of people, because of specifically things like the AEW debut and WWE's debut on Netflix, look at a debut show as like the end all be all. If it's a high rating, you're successful. If it's a low rating, you're not. And the truth is that it's usually more like NXT, where what happens after the rating is more important. And the fact that AEW went downhill, well, not just immediately, because you can expect that from any startup. They're going to go downhill right off the bat. Yeah, anytime they move networks, when WWE went to Netflix, they started going downhill after the first episode. When AEW debuted Collision or Rampage, first episode was big and it always goes down. That's going to happen. The idea is that you need to at least produce a consistent product that can maintain. And to be fair to AEW, they did that for a couple years. Up and I'd say through the pandemic, AEW was pretty healthy. They dropped, but not to an alarming extent.
Yeah, because they were like hovering around that. Like that's why the whole like no Millie thing was a thing, because for a while, like that was the benchmark where they like, because it was 1.4 or 1.5 when it started, and then they kind of level set around 1 million, and then and then they were level setting around 800 and then 600, and it just keeps dropping from there.
Yeah, I will say they have put us in a bit of a predicament at this point, because it's funny. Like I did not care about ratings at all before 2023. Ratings were never a big deal to me. If you go back and find my old podcast, I was always trumpeting the idea that it's going to go up and down. It happens, But here's the thing, guys. When I have been inundated with nothing but look at the ratings, look at the ratings, look at the ratings, look, we beat NXT in this demo by 0.4. We beat NXT in this demo by 0.2. We beat WWE in this demo. It was a holiday, but we still beat them in this demo by 0.175. So if you look at those ratings and you combine those with the cage match ratings, and then you add Dave Meltzer's ratings on top of all of it, you can see that AEW is clearly a superior product to any other wrestling that's ever existed. So
you forgot Ibu's ratings. Ibu's ratings also got to be in there.
You're right. I forgot about Ibu. Ibu's ratings are up there. So they combine all of these ratings, they put it together, and then it's presented to you like, this is why AEW is better. And I'm like, and so when you're presented with that constantly, and then the thing happens where they start not being able to say that anymore, right? Where it starts being an issue where the ratings are much lower than their competition. The ratings go down a whole lot. And then those same people start to say, no one cares who cares about ratings? Why do we talk about ratings? Who cares about ratings? We don't need to talk about ratings. It's funny to bring it up to them. Okay, go. I'm sorry, Jake.
No, you're good. It's just the whole thing I laugh about is like TV ratings in general. Like that TV ratings are like people that are like paying for cable to watch TV. You know what I mean? Like that's one of the things like George and I always talk about on our show with NXT, how like the CW rating is one thing, but how many people watch the highlights on YouTube or the clips or whatever, or sometimes they'll put up full matches or whatever, or people pay at least are paying somewhat of attention to it. So the ratings are a part of it, but they're not as important as some people think, or then they stop thinking about it because their ratings aren't good anymore with them. That's why it's kind of more of like, how are the houses? How's the feel around it too? So that's putting this much into the ratings. I'm kind of with you where I'm like, I don't care that much, but it's such a topic that people talk about that you're going to pay attention and talk about it.
Well, yeah. And it's funny. It's just
hilarious. It is. No, it's just like anything with it. And I mean, you see that with any type of thing where like all of a sudden, like, hey, we're looking good. We're going to talk about it. We're going to like a product with a commercial where like, hey, the Honda's the highest rated car or whatever. And then all of a sudden Toyota is, and Honda starts talking about a different thing in their ratings with
right.
But you go with what numbers make you look good.
And the equivalent would be if Honda one year said, we've been rated the best for car and driver safety, blah, 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 or, what an amazing feat we've accomplished.
Yeah.
And then the next year Toyota gets it. And then Honda goes, yeah, fuck them. We didn't. You know what?
Car
That
and
was
driver
never-
don't mean shit.
Car and driver doesn't mean nothing. Who cares about car and driver? No
Well,
one ever
it
liked
does.
car and
It's-
driver.
Basically it's are you making money? Are you profitable? That's all
Yeah.
that the companies, all of it, the TV executives, the advertiser executives, the studio heads care about. Are you making us money? Are you profitable? We can explain the ratings on DVR, on clips, on this, how much we're paying. So, but yeah, hey, it's the flex. It's hey, AEW. Hey, we got 20,000 extra viewers from last week. Flex.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, the point stands. The point they were making when they were trying to say that it meant something is a good point. It is the only way to objectively judge quality. You can't objectively judge quality any other way because you can say that was objectively good. And if I didn't like it, I could say, no, it wasn't. And that's the end of that conversation. But if you have numbers to back it up, if you can say, well, okay, you know what? These numbers show that more people thought that this was good than thought this was good because they continue to watch it. That is an objective argument about quality that you can make. Now, is it a quality that you or I may actually think is valid? Probably not. But that's not the argument. The argument is that is it good or is it bad? And if you want to make that argument objectively, ratings are the only thing you can point to. So that is an argument to be made. But
I'd say ratings and houses. Like what are your houses drawing? Those are the two. If you're going off numbers, those two are the numbers you back off of it. And if both are looking good, or at least the houses are looking good, you got something to back up to, hang your hat on. But when you don't, you don't.
Right. And honestly, if like we have Boris hang out with us every week and we disagree a lot, but I'm really happy that Boris gets enjoyment out of watching Dynamite and Collision and all the AEW. Like I like that he can. I have been a TNA fan. I've been there. I understand what it's like to like bad wrestling, man. Okay. If you've been a wrestling fan, as long as we have, at some point, you're going to be like, I'm just watching it because it's wrestling. I just love wrestling and I'm going to keep watching it. And that's why you watch. And I have no problem with anyone who enjoys the product. What I have a problem with is people who try to say that the product you enjoy sucks and the product I enjoy is right and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Those are who I fight against. And if that wasn't going on, I would really probably never even talk about AEW. But the fact that I am every time, even before I was an AEW account, there was a time when I was not an AEW account. There was a time when I was posting on Reddit. There was a time when I was not involved in X or IWC or any of that stuff. And even then, just constantly, it was always like, my opinion's right, your opinion's wrong. If you ever dare criticize AEW, you were just immediately thrown out of the group, right? So there's some fun in it for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's one of those things where I'm happy to have a discussion about. That's what I like about Boris is he'll bring his points with it, and not just go to immediately to name calling or like if you didn't like one little part of it, everything you've ever said is wrong. Go away, stupid.
Right.
Like
you don't know. You don't know. Real
you don't know wrestling. Yeah, you've never seen it. But I've only been going to shows for 25 years, but I know nothing. All right, my bad.
It's also just be a personal tactic. Okay, I do not like certain things. I am fine with that. I don't like if you like, for example, I don't know, Pokemon or what's that? Magic Gathering. Great. I don't like it, but I don't care. I'm not gonna say, oh, you're an idiot. You're hey, you're a freak. You say that about AEW. Like, hey, I really don't like the product, and it's almost like you've insulted their mother. They must offend the honor. Yeah. There will be a blood feud that goes on for generations. And you're just going, you people have issues. You need to take like a health pill. You have issues. It's just wrestling.
Yeah, it's like you attack their religion, and it's like, hey, man, it's okay. Like, it's a television show, guys.
Absolutely. And that's kind of always the comparison I give to the TNA fans. Like, TNA fans are so cool. Whether whatever you say about the product, TNA fans are the most decent, affable fans you'll ever meet they're affable. I said affable for some reason. Affable fans you'll ever meet. They're just super nice. And the reason is because they've gone now for like 2 decades, just knowing that it's like, the wrestling we like, a lot of people don't like it, but I like it.
The ringer.
And hey, if you don't like it, that's just fine. Like they've been through a lot. So that's part of the reasons that I cheer for TNA so much is because their fans are so great.
Oh, and you say they're fans. The first thing I think of every time I watch a TNA show, not every time, but at least most of their big ones, you always see that sign guy Rick, man. The guy with like the blue work. Yes, like I met him at. Yeah, me too. I met him at WrestleMania 26 when it was here in Phoenix. He was awesome. I met him at like Fan Access and at something else during that week. And he's the nicest guy. We follow each other on Twitter. I always tag him when I see him on TV. Like that guy is the epitome of TNA fans to me. And I'm like, if you can't be cool with that guy, like, come on. He's awesome. Yeah,
I met him at the TNA show I went to in February.
He's such a good dude.
I was like, Max was with me. I'm like, Max, the sign guy.
Yeah,
he's like, he's just like,
you're like it's a celebrity. They don't understand. It's sign guy Rick, man.
So, no, he was a good guy. So but let's get into. So we were talking about TNA. We'll get back to TNA. We'll circle back, but for now. Oh, by the way, thank you guys. We have 136 people in the chat. Make sure you are dropping a like. And if you want to, anytime you give us a super chat, we will read aloud on the air. $50 or more, and we will stop for it. So if you don't donate $50 or more and you do a super chat now over the next segment, we will read it at the end of this segment. For now, let's get into the breaking topic here. So this was on Hollywood Reporter, and I had to do the thing. I don't know if you've ever looked at Hollywood Reporter before online, but they have like 9 ads. And then if you have an ad blocker, it has a big thing that says disable your ad blocker. So I had to open the website, turn on my ad blocker, switch it to read only mode. And that is how we are going to view this article because no one has transcribed it. It is brand new. It is just off the presses. It's from Hollywood Reporter. It looks like AEW is not going to Netflix in the Warner Brothers deal. I think this is something we all knew.
Right.
Is this a surprise, Chris? Is this a surprise?
No, I mean you knew that Netflix wanted only like the Warner Brothers studio. That was what their baby. And everything else is like, okay, yeah, we get the lawn furniture. We shove it to the side. Just shove it to the side.
Right.
Yeah.
Jake,
they
are you surprised?
They wanted no. They wanted the IP and the physical studio, and like that's it. They wanted to get those parts of it. They wanted the big chunks. Yeah, like lawn furniture is a good way to put it. They bought the house. You can take everything. We want the foundation of it. And that just makes most sense. Why would they want television? What's Netflix going to do with TV channels?
So you can look here. There's a bunch of flowery text because it's a Hollywood Reporter. But on January 20th, that is today. Sorry to date the show for anyone listening in the future, but that is where we are. They filed Discovery and Warner Brothers and Netflix jointly filed a 519-page proxy statement with the latest update to their Hollywood shaking deal. Netflix revised its offer for Warner Brothers Studios, streaming in linear HBO to an all-cash agreement, just like Paramount. Okay, so in that filing, neither the phrase All Elite Wrestling nor the acronym AEW appeared once in the proxy. Page 53 foretold a future for a WWE competitor. Really, it was the absence of words and letters that informed some of the reporting. Following the close of the Netflix WB deal, All Elite Wrestling rights will sustainably remain with Discovery. So what that means is that Netflix has no ownership over the rights to AEW. That doesn't mean that it will immediately go off Max. There are still contracts that will keep them on Max through, I believe, the end of 2027. I'm sure this article will touch on that later. But they have no interest in bringing that deal over to Netflix. So it keeps AEW on WBD properties, which or Discovery properties, which at that point will be TNT and TBS, taking them out of streaming completely except for pay-per-views. Though the league's weekly series premium live events are expected to continue streaming on HBO Max. This is what I just said. Yeah. So they will continue streaming through the end of 2027. But after that, it goes on to say, this is not necessarily unexpected, but it is confirmation. The AEW TV deal is tied to the basic cable channels TNT and TBS and expires at the end of 2027 or 2028, depending on what becomes of the contract's 4th year option. At
They're
that
not
time,
picking up the option.
right? No, you're fine.
But that's where I was curious too, is because you said 2027. I'm like, it's 27 or 28 in my head, and then that's why I didn't know, because there's an option year. Okay,
I'm saying 20.
Yeah,
I'm saying 2027, and the reason is because I can't imagine a world where a company called Discovery goes on existing much longer after this deal goes through.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point when you think about it. Yeah.
And so whoever buys the Discovery properties, TNT, TBS, Discovery, they will have that deal. And when you're looking at possible buyers for that deal, you're looking at Paramount, you're looking at Universal, you're looking at Fox, you're looking, you're looking at these companies that have already turned AEW down. So the idea that they're suddenly going to be interested in having AEW, like AMC is is owned by a smaller company. They're off on their own little island, but now they have a deal with TNA. So they're not going to be interested in doing any of this. There's very few people who would be in the market for 2 cable networks who would have any interest in dealing with AEW, at least at the current value they are getting.
Oh God, yeah.
Well,
especially
for half the value they're getting. I mean, TNA got $10 million, and they have, let's say their ratings are maybe a third of what AEW gets. Why would anybody go, yeah, I'll give you $100 million a year? I mean, you might get a company go, we'll give you 30 or 40 at max. Because, again, it's hovering over, 500, 400,000. It's not sports. I'm sorry for anybody who loves wrestling, because I do like it. But, I mean, if you look at TNT Sports, it's like baseball, NASCAR, hockey. Oh, there's AEW wrestling, college basketball, golf. Like, which doesn't belong with the others? And you'll go, like, yeah, it's wrestling. So, again, Tony and AEW have to look and start going, okay, well, can I run this company with a town budget of a fifth of what I'm paying?
No, you're totally right. Yeah, in the chat, there's a lot of talk. We got Erica, would Tony be better off moving to a YouTube only model once this ends? We got George asking, here comes YouTube for AEW. Actually, it would be smart. There are other options. So I'm here. I talked about this on this very show when AEW was making this deal. I did not understand why AEW was so dead set on being on broadcast cable. It's a dying, we've been told for years, it's a dying format. It's something that people aren't interested in anymore. The cable numbers are going down. Subscriber numbers are going down year over year. Yeah. So this would be the time to pull a WWE and hit up streaming. And that's why I kept saying Tony needs to be I understand he loves WBD, but his target should have been on Amazon. And the fact that now they're in this situation where I mean, I don't know the numbers for Amazon. I do understand that they had a sorry, something just threw me off. We'll get there in a second though. Anyway, I do understand that with Amazon, specifically, they do have the streaming deal currently where they are running the pay-per-views, but they've had complications with that. I believe Amazon had to do a whole bunch of refunds.
They did a full refund of one of the shows. Yeah. Well, and the biggest problem too, it's kind of like you were saying before, of who can bid on them. Everything's like conglomerations, like you said, Fox, but Fox is like, that's really Disney, which also owns Hulu. So it's like you're running out of options of what they can do, like, like where they can go. There's not many people that are going to really give them anything for it. So
and the elephant in the room is Tony wanted to be, look, we're WCW 2.0, but I'm smarter than Ted Turner. I'm smarter than Eric Bischoff. That's what he wants. It's almost like this is his passion project. This isn't a business. This is Tony Khan living out his fantasy of I could do WCW better. So if they lose this deal, I can see Tony just going, yep, screw it. I don't want to, because going to YouTube would be beneath them. Going to like Tubi would be beneath them. Because the Awfuls, everybody, the Cornettes, the Bischoffs, everybody would just mock him relentlessly. Like, oh my God, you are failing. You went from prime rib to, lunch, hamburger helper. How the hell do you screw that, Mr. Genius?
Well, the other problem though is, okay, so you're totally right about that, and they would bury him, but like, is he really just gonna kill the company and not like with all of his friends, like all of the wrestlers that are his friends now, like all these friendships and relationships that he's built that like is his whole world, that he's the boss of this wrestling company? He's just gonna have them all be out of a job? Like he's screwed because he was gonna want both. He wants to be who he is, but he also wants to do that, and he's not gonna be able to do both.
Well, yeah. I mean, the interesting part is that I know from first-hand experience, I deal with Beard and Awful on a daily basis. We are all in agreement. Something like Tubi or Freevee through Amazon or Pluto TV, like one of these other things, we all think it's actually kind of a good idea for AEW. Like our whole thing has been that AEW needs to realize where it is and what it is, right? If AEW was just being like, hey guys, we're small, we're these up and comers, we're fighting against the man, but we don't, we're not spending a whole lot of money, we're not trying to pretend that we're the biggest company in the world, we're just a raggedy upstart. All of us would kind of be like, okay, whatever, like sure, be MLW is the lane, NWA is the lane. To pretend that you're competing with WWE, that's kind of where. Oh, wait a second.
A wild slapnuts appears. Double J.
Jeff Jarrett.
It's not Double J, but it's Double T. Time traveling, hanging out with us tonight. I told you guys I'd have more.
Yeah. We gotta run in. We got
T squared in the building.
How you doing tonight, Time?
Tired, but good. How's everyone else doing? How y'all been? I've been listening.
We're doing all right. We're just talking about the breaking news that Netflix doesn't care about AEW at all.
The only thing breaking about this news is Tony's heart.
Yeah, exactly. Do you okay?
We all knew. Come on.
You know what? I'll say, sorry, Time. I'll get back to you in a second. You know what's weird about that though is that I have had that conversation, not with Tony, but with Mole right after this whole thing happened, right after the Netflix deal went through. Mole kept messaging me. He's like, people here are freaking out. People are really worried. And like I'm telling Mole, like, dude, it's fine. Like, of course, Netflix isn't going to be interested in you, but you're going to be fine. You'll find a place. And he's like, I don't know, man. Netflix cancel us. Netflix just get rid of us. It's just
there was never a shot in hell, in my opinion. I never one for a second thought that Netflix was ever going to even like come close to touching them, just because like I never thought that Netflix had an interest in the TV stations, and that's where their deal is. Like after this, like, because like function what they're letting happen is they're letting the company split, which when the split happens, their contract goes with Discovery, as you guys already talked about, and then they have a licensing deal with Max. So it's like I never thought they were at risk of that.
Yeah, let's go back to the story here from Hollywood Reporter. So this is kind of interesting. Though WBD and AEW will never say this aloud because at a less than 10% stake, they don't legally have to. Now, this is Hollywood Reporter, and they are stating this as a fact. WBD owns a minority position in the ladder. How many times have we been told this isn't true?
Every time. You say, no, we're wrong. You're wrong. You're making up. You're lying. You're a great big fibber.
I'm sitting here looking at the Hollywood Reporter telling us that WBD owns a stake in AEW. And now, remember a few months ago, there were all those things that were coming out that were like, there are people that have a majority. There's somebody that has a majority stake in AEW. And like the internet kind of went crazy saying it was Meltzer.
Right.
And I'm just like,
that never made sense.
Yeah, like it's not Meltzer. I don't know. Chris, do you think it's Meltzer? Do you think it's possible that it's Meltzer?
At best, I could see him like have like 1%, like what they do, and like, oh yeah, well, you do all this, but we can't pay you, so here's 1% of the company, whatever it was worth. It's not worth much, but hey, it's 1%,
like a tribute, tribute thing. Yeah. I don't. The thing about Meltzer is that I don't think it. You don't have to give Meltzer anything, right? Meltzer's just going to do this because you're booking the Meltzer product. That's what he wants. So, he's going to be fine with not owning anything. But I assumed when that story came out that it was WBD. That was my initial assumption right off the bat. It just makes sense that they own it. I can't imagine them giving AEW that big of a TV deal if they didn't own it. Like that's the big part, is that how do you give them that big of a deal? If they, and I'm moving time up to the top because he has a camera on. So I'm nothing against anyone else, but he has a camera, and
he has the aviator shades also. He looks cool.
Yeah, he looks pretty badass right now. So I'm highlighting him.
You're just mad because I got recognized in public.
You did, and we're gonna get to that.
I was kidding. I had
You're the famous one here. We've been doing this show for 2 GD years, and you come in here off the street like you're nothing, wearing a paper bag as a shirt, and you come in here like, hey, I'm here, guys, and suddenly you're talk of the town. Everyone knows who Jake is. He's Mr. Famous. Let's get TMZ over there because Jake's. I'm joking.
Oh God, that's the funny.
Proud of you, Jake.
Somebody is. God, that was hilarious. My buddy who was with me was like stunned. Like, wait, what? Are you serious? Like, I don't know. Yes, this is. I don't know. It was great. Oh,
okay.
God.
Getting back to it. Complicating matters further. AEW is not technically on the sports side of the Warner Brothers Discovery business, which is weird because sometimes they are and sometimes they aren't. If you look at like TNT Sports, sometimes AEW is featured and sometimes they aren't. When they release ratings, suddenly AEW doesn't exist. But then every once in a while they'll put out a weekly tweet where they talk about what's coming up, and AEW will be in the bottom left corner where they're like, we have hockey and football, and oh yeah, AEW, don't worry about that. So sometimes they are and sometimes they aren't, but according to this, officially they're not part of the sports side of Warner Brothers Discovery. It has always been considered a piece of WBD's entertainment division, save its PR servicing, which is handled by Turner's sports communication team. Interesting. That is interesting, actually, because that explains why I don't get. Okay, I don't know why you would split it up like that. Assuming so, the other part is the HBO Max might be absorbed into Netflix. Time, you know what? Time. I've heard you talk about this quite a bit. What do you think? Do you think it'd be smart to absorb HBO into Netflix, or do you think it's good as a standalone thing?
I kind of go back and forth on it. I think that there's a lot of value in IP, and I think that Mac's name, albeit slightly diminished in recent years, I do think there's value in having that. Like, I could see a world. I don't know if Netflix does this, but I could see a world where like they start using the Max name to debut their more serious film stuff. Like they just had the movie The Rip with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. I could see a world where those kinds of movies go to Max, and like their original shows go, or maybe their original shows go to Max, and then their movies go there. I don't know. But I think ultimately, no. I think ultimately they just support. I could see a world where it exists, but like the more I'm talking about it, I think Netflix by itself established itself as like a premier brand.
I'll go where I think this would go in my mind.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that.
I think that HBO could become the Miramax for Netflix. It's the studio that handles the prestige projects. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The long form
like Touchstone was for Disney. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at first, and like I just kind of the reason I paused is because I don't know what the egos are like in the room. Like in terms of like, do they see Netflix on the same level as like HBO, or like
I think
I agree with you. I think that would make sense.
Let me jump in quickly because I think I know where time travel's going. I could see it where it's Warner Brothers Studios. That's the big tent projects, the over 150 million summer blockbusters, all that stuff. The DC, that's where one will go, and then HBO will be like for the dramas, like Canyon County, or or Magnolias, or something where it's like, or it's drama. It's more like awards, and but it's under $100 million. That's where that will go, and they'll use it to sort of there's Netflix, but there's divisions, and one's big tent, one's serious, and then everything else is sports. Will be just Netflix.
Yeah, I think Netflix is very aware of what it is, and I think what Netflix knows it is Wine Mom. Netflix is aware that they are crime documentaries, they are rom-coms, they are bingeable light sci-fi. Like, that's kind of Netflix's lane, in my opinion, and it really does make sense that they were so interested in getting WWE because, like it or not, that's what WWE is to wrestling, and that's why I think part of the reason they're so successful is because they stay in that lane. They don't try to be they don't try to be the thinking man's wrestling product. They are fine catering to the filthy masses or whatever.
They're not trying to be that art that Omega's always talking about.
Right.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. And I think there's place for both. And that's why I always say, like, if AEW fans weren't so obnoxious, I would not care about AEW, because sure, there has to be a company that's going out there and doing weird shit. Totally understand that, but but yeah, I think that Netflix understands what it is at this point. If they didn't understand what it is, they wouldn't have made a show called Is It Cake? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's valid. And then do you want like the prestige, like the shows on HBO of like that are like what, like The Pit and like all the Game of Thrones shows and all that kind of, and whatever other type of dramas they do? Like, I feel like, they're being separate and being the prestige channel does make the most sense when you
Netflix is the Gordon Ramsay. Is it Cake? That's the Netflix lane. That's the cartoons, the kids stuff too, and the K dramas, and like they're the mainstream kind of forward facing brand. And then Max is their little art house brand, and WBD is their big blockbuster brand, and that's how that seems like a good lane for Netflix. And AEW doesn't fit in at all. Like, when you have WWE, why would you ever go after AEW when you have WWE?
If anything, I was going to say, if anything, I could see WWE get moved to HBO Sports. So it's like, hey, we want to get WWE nominated for Oscars and Emmys. That's what we're going to do.
Sure.
It's now the HBO Sports. That prestige. That's sort of the way you can go to Oscar voters. Go, hey, look, WWE's part of HBO Sports. Ooh. We got to crack open a bottle and you might get an award now.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. Anybody else have anything they want to add to this topic, or are we ready to move on?
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking with the history behind the name HBO too, it just seems like they'd want to keep that. But yeah,
that's what you would think. I really think that would be, that's personally what I would hope they do. But I'm a little nostalgic about things. I don't like seeing things that I
know. Growing up, HBO was important to me as a kid.
You know what, dude?
Not as much now, but it is. Yeah.
So yesterday, I'm gonna go on a little. This will be edited out of the clip when we move forward.
This rant.
So yesterday I decided I was talking to Max about Martin Luther King, and I found out that schools just don't teach about Martin Luther King anymore. They just don't. I apparently I looked into it a little bit, and some of the theories I saw were that, like, remember a few years ago when people were like, oh, he smoked crack once and he had sex with women, so cancel him, like that when the BLM stuff was going. It seemed like there was a big push at that time to kind of get him out of the schools. And I think it might have worked, because Max had no idea who Martin, like, he thought I asked Max who Martin Luther King was, and he goes, didn't he have something to do with, like, he helped in slavery or something? I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So
That's insane.
it's insane. It's crazy. So I sat him down and we went through 8 hours of Martin Luther King.
School's down. They just
yesterday.
streamline everything so you can just graduate. We don't care about what you learn. Just graduate. You get you the hell out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh man, let's not even dive into that. That's just different show.
I agree. So he didn't learn anything about. So I went through and I'm trying to find all these documentaries about Martin Luther King. My idea was I was hoping like maybe I could find one that kind of spans everything. I wanted to show him a documentary and then I wanted to sit down with him and have a real discussion about Martin Luther King. And I couldn't really find one that encompassed everything, but I found a couple that kind of, if you put them together, would cover everything, and all of them were on HBO. Every single one of them. I think that's something that hasn't been, that kind of has gone away with HBO as they get more into the prestige dramas, is that they used to be a really good place to produce these kind of vanilla overarching documentaries or movies that would cover these guys that you could show in a school or show to a kid and kind of get the general idea of something. And yeah, HBO just kind of stopped doing it. But it is funny that you go back when you talk about the nostalgia, you go back and you realize a lot of the movies that we watched in school were HBO documentaries, or they were HBO movies or something like that when they were trying to actually educate us. And I do miss that part of entertainment. I think that it's kind of gone these days. You know, the whole like, let's just produce a real easy documentary or a real easy movie. Everyone wants to get into the dirt and the grime and all that kind of stuff, you know.
Well, I mean, an example for me of something that I miss, even like not HBO, VH1. Like I miss like the stuff like the Temptations documentaries.
I love that documentary.
Or, yeah, like
I'm behind the music, man. I could sit through a day of those.
I am so happy that we're getting that new Michael Jackson film, just because it's like the closest thing to a VH1 made for TV movie I'm gonna get.
That Temptations documentary is simultaneously the worst and best Temptations story you'll ever see, because it's like you watch it, you're like, oh, so they're just gonna skip like 5 years, but then you're like, okay, no, I get it. I don't need to know those 5 years. This is what I want to know.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
But they did the Jacksons. The Jacksons was a little too much beating up kids for me, but I thought that was okay.
I feel a good story.
Still a good story, and I did like the Lifetime was doing them a few years ago. They did a Destiny's Child one, and they did a Salt and Pepper one a few years ago.
Oh man,
yeah, you should check those out. I highly recommend them.
Real quick, I just have to say with Cubic, you know, I don't know there's ever enough Tiger King. I'm joking.
No.
Please don't hurt me.
So Cubics is who I ran into at the show. I'm pretty sure.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's the kid.
I will
amazing.
argue that there are that enough Tiger King was season 2 of Tiger King, where it was just the COVID season where they were all just like at webcams and stuff, basically doing exactly what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Except
I'll never forget the first time I saw that. I saw Tiger King. I was just floored.
It's a wrestling show. It's just wrestling. It's just wrestling. The gimmick.
Here's a funny thing. We have WWE and Real. HBO started this years ago when they did 24/7 Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
I mean that got everything. I mean WWE was just the last person kicking and screaming into this era. But I mean I used to love Hard Knocks. Like, oh, I'm actually
I used to be a lot more into than I am now.
All right, go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say the famous line during the Baltimore Ravens. Goose, you humiliated me. I want restitutions. Shannon Sharp.
Well, and then ESPN started doing them. ESPN 30 for 30s. I could sit there and watch all day. I could watch nothing but 30.
Yep.
And I don't care about sports at all at this point in my life, but I could sit there and watch 30 for 30 all day. So
that was the thing about a lot of those, is that some of those are about sports you didn't know or care about at all, but by the end of the documentary you were really into it. Now, not all of them, but I would say like 95% of them were great.
All right, we're getting into we have a few more super chats here, both from Regina Sharp for $5. Not sure anything is beneath Tony.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, what's I mean, in his mind, but in real life, come on, man.
And another 5 from Regina. To clarify, I just think that Tony has the bug really, really bad. He'll do whatever it takes to keep in the wrestling business. Okay. Let me get this out real quick. If anyone has any more super chats, make sure you are donating. We will highlight your comment on the air. If you do $50 or more, we will make sure that we will interrupt the show and get it right at that time. And by the way, you do get Glom Gold for over 20. But thank you so much for donating to the show. So I have a soft spot in my first 3-4 years of AEW. My fandom always predicated on the idea that I do have a soft spot in my heart for Tony Khan, because I do believe that at one point I was Tony Khan, not in terms of the money, obviously, but in terms of your passion for wrestling, your idea that, man, if I had money, I could do this, right? Like who of us haven't sat in our room and said, like, man, if I had $2 billion, I could start a wrestling company and make it so much better than what they're doing now. Like, that passion is attractive to me and interesting to me. And I like that. But at some point you have to understand that you're wrong.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you have to give it up a little bit. And as I got older, I realized, okay, you know what? That I'm wrong. I could never make a company that's more successful than WWE. I could never make a company that's more successful than even what WCW was back in the day. I need help. I would need people there who knew what they were doing, who were involved in the business, who came up in the business. And the fact that he just stands there with his chest out, acting like he doesn't need that help, although we'll talk about that a little bit later, but he acts like he doesn't need it, is a little off-putting at this point.
It was off-putting from the beginning, but we kind of looked past it because we wanted it, especially at the time, because WWE was so bad in 2019 that you wanted it to be good. But yeah, it's Eric Bischoff's biggest beef with Tony is that he said, like, oh, I know more about Tony. I forget the exact quote, but it's like, I like Ted Turner knows 1% of what I knew or what I know. And it's like, by then, like, Ted Turner had worked with WCW for years and he knew business, and Ted Turner knows whatever the percentage was. That's what Ted Turner knows about the business world and succeeding over what Tony knows. And yeah, it's just, he's so full of himself. Or what was it? Was it Cornette that he said, like, no one's going to write my TV but me? Like, he's just so full of himself, which is weird because he seems like somebody who has like zero self-confidence. I don't understand how this works. My brain just can't wrap around it.
He wants to be the boss. I mean, that's because if you follow him in the English Premier League and NFL circles, he's not respected. People think, oh, he's another daddy's boy. He's the idiot. He's just there. He's never going to run the company because he'd run it into the ground. But here, hey, he's the big shot. Hey, he knows everything. Hey, I know wrestling. I am a genius. And see, AEW, 5 years. Look at that contract. It's me, Tony Khan, TK, Chris, baby.
Tom, I'll get to you in a second. Chris, this is not meant as an insult at all, and I hope you don't take it. That is the best take I've ever heard out of you. That is like that. You completely changed my perspective on Tony Khan at this point. The idea that he's a guy, he wants to prove that he's not a Nepo baby, right? Like, that's a great take, Chris. That's better than takes I hear on Awful half the time. You're so
Awful calls in. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, Alpha remind you, but hey, I have another take about JYD and Jey Uso, but we won't get into that one. I'm going to be
We're kind of on the same page about Uso, by the way. Okay, Time. You were trying to jump in there, dude. What you got?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say that in regards to like Tony Khan and all this, like, you guys kind of hit on this earlier. Him being willing to throw all the money into this to keep it going, like, I would find that to be an almost aspirational thing, to be someone who could have that kind of money and just throw it away. Like, if it weren't for the fact that they keep trying to sell us on the success, that's really what it comes down to. Like, I personally, I think it's great that there's a place right now that, like, these guys and girls can go and negotiate for contracts. They can go and make a little bit more money, because the reality is like WWE only has so many slots and there's only so much money to go around on the indies. It's nice that there's a place where people can go and make a living. But like, I don't know. The guy just so freaking delusional at this point.
Well, you said it's nice that there's a place where people can go and make a living. I agree with that to an extent. I think that there are people who, and I've gone back and forth with Awful about this a few times. I think there are people who should be in AEW. There are people who would never get that money anywhere else. There's Josh Alexander. Josh Alexander belongs in AEW. As good as he is, he's not a guy who would make it in WWE.
I hate that I might know. I feel like I know where you're going with this, but I want to hear.
Okay, so yeah, Josh Alexander, I don't believe is a guy who can make it. I mean, I don't think I'm going anywhere with it. I think.
I think
I'm glad you know, because I ain't got shit.
AEW is perfect for the indie guy, the grizzled vet who I just won't get paid. But if you're a young kid, you shouldn't go to AEW because they will just misuse you.
I disagree a little bit, and here's the reason: the Rascalz weren't going to WWE. Okay, Speedball Mike Bailey wasn't going to WWE. Now you look at Kevin Knight.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Kevin Knight had an ID deal waiting for him, and Tony got him with the big money.
Yeah,
but Kevin Knight could have been what's his name? Trip London? Is that his name? Do you see that dude? Has anybody seen that dude's what was his? There's one of the new guys they signed to ID. Check, I believe his name is Trip London or something along those lines. You watch his video and it's just like, this guy's going to be the biggest star in the world. Like the second you see him, you understand that.
Check him out.
What's that?
I'll check him out.
Yeah. Or Javon Evans. You look at Javon Evans. Javon Evans could not be Javon Evans in AEW.
It's Trill London. Yeah, no, I see.
Trill London. That's it.
Yeah.
Trill London. Yeah. Trill London. But yeah, Javon Evans could not be Javon Evans in AEW. Javon Evans is going to have a 30-year-long career. I've said before, if anyone is going to be Mr. 18, it's Javon Evans.
Yeah.
He is there. He connects the way I have never seen a wrestler connect with my kid the way Javon Evans did the second Max saw him. The second he saw him.
I remember you talking about that, yeah.
And last night when Javon came out and ate the screen, remember that? Like he went nuts. And it's just like he is in tune with these kids in a way that a 40 or a 30-year-old man can't be. And he's going to get them now, and he's going to keep them. That's why I say, and I know that the story came out a few weeks ago where it's like they don't see him as a top guy. He's going to be a top guy. He is the John Cena. He is the guy who comes in, starts off slow, builds, and eventually becomes your top guy. He's not the Obafemi. He's not the Brock Lesnar, but he's the long burn that's going to pay off in about 10 years.
But that's the way I mean. Like Harley Cameron, I could see in WWE. Willow Nightingale, I can't. I could see, again, Kevin Knight, yes, he's a WWE guy. But the Rascalz, they're indies. They hit their ceiling. So there's perfect people for AEW. And then, if you are, and Powerhouse Hobbs has found this out, Mariah May, you need to get out because they won't know what to do with you. Like William Morrissey, a.k.a. Big Bill, needs to get the hell out of there.
God.
Tony has screwed him up.
I think for me, if there's my biggest example of someone who took the money and should have gone to WWE, it's probably MJF.
Yeah.
MJF for me is one of those guys who I'm not even saying he should have stayed in WWE, right? Like my roadmap for him, because I do think he's ultimately an AEW guy in the sense of I think he's like a franchise player for them. But like in AEW today, I don't think he has enough people that can challenge him and really push him to grow the way he can grow. Like I think he's the best of the best there. And I think that's going to be a problem for his development. I think he's going to hit a ceiling that is really hard for him to overcome. I hope I'm wrong on that though, because like I
think you're right.
Yeah.
I really want him to be great because, like, at one point I saw greatness in him when he was like, feuding with Punk, and then after that, like, I really thought he was going to be just like one of the all time.
No.
And I seem to be incredibly wrong about that.
I agree. I agree with
Yeah.
you 100% because I think he's hit his ceiling. In
Well, I
terms
think
of
the other problem with MJF, you've given him everything he wants. Like I could see him being frustrated with WWE because they would go, no, you can't take 3 months off to shoot the Happy Gilmore 2. We need you here. We'll give you a couple weeks, but we can't give you 3 months. Or no, you can't just curse all you want. We'll let you be a little bit edgy, but you got to follow within the rules. And I think in AEW, he looks and goes, I can do whatever I want. I can make my schedule. I can come and go, and Tony will do whatever makes me happy because, hey, I'm the franchise guy, and that means the rules don't apply to me.
Okay, I think MJF has hit his ceiling in terms of what he can do at AEW. I think he's already there. And the reason is because they keep circling. He came back as a full-blown top, I am the biggest asshole in the room guy, right? That's what he came back as. Excuse me. Now he is already on the indies offering guys contracts. He is already turning back into that like weird semi-face humble MJF character that didn't work before, but it's like they can't figure out the balance between him being an asshole and him being a champion. They can't find that. And that's what WWE is perfect for. And I would argue about the movies that WWE would find a way to have him be where he can do a movie and not miss work. And that's kind of one of the biggest problems with AEW and Tony Khan and those guys is that it's all or nothing. He was mad at MJF when he went and did movies. We have that documented. He punished that man for going to do movies. And so they don't understand that it's better for everyone involved if they go out and do these things. WWE would have had MJF do Happy Gilmore 2 and not miss a day of work, just like they did Becky Lynch. And
I think the thing with MJF is I feels like he's smart enough to know that he's not going to really do anything major with his character while he's in AEW. And once that contract ends, do all of that under the big stage with WWE. And maybe, I don't know all the movies that he's done aside from Happy Gilmore, but I feel like with WWE, they'd probably set him up with, like Niccolo Piccolo and that group, and he'd make better choices with the movies and do like, the best movies they can have him do. And you're absolutely right. He would be able to do them and maybe like miss a couple of TV shows, but do vignettes or have something with it. So he's not really out of sight, out of mind. Like when AEW, where he's just, where's MJF? Oh, now he's back and he's in the title picture. Great.
So before we get into before we go too deep into this topic and have to start a whole other thing, let me throw up here. We got one more super chat here from Regina Sharp. Watch out, Chris. Aka Diss only sucks up to you before he strikes his heel diss. That's true. That's true. You never know when I'm coming. So, Jake.
Yes.
I believe you went to Dynamite last week. I'm doing this because
did.
I have to urinate. So
give me 1 second. Hang on. Let me share this screen in case you want to talk about that. Yeah, no, I did. Yeah, no, I just shared my screen. If you want to, I mean, we can talk about that part of it too. With I've got the
about me
videos
urinating. I'd rather not.
No, I should just share my screen.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Good Lord. I mean, it's falling off the rails here, people. No.
Hey,
Yes,
I'm in
no,
charge. If it falls off the rails, I'm all for it. Don't worry.
Fair. Yes, no, I went to AEW Dynamite on Wednesday because it was maximum carnage. Now I went because it was like 4 light rail stops from my house, so I didn't have to drive. And my buddy and I went up and we got the cheapest tickets possible, which were $30 a ticket, and they weren't that bad, really. We were like, I don't know, like there was the initial section of fans, and then there was the little break, and then there was the midsection we were in, and we were in the row like 3 or 4, I think. But I got a couple of videos here. I don't know which kids you guys want to see. You want to see the Tony Khan with the fans before we tried to pump us up to stay for or for the main event. That's what this one is. Here.
Yeah, I think the Tony videos, the BTS stuff.
Yeah, I'll put them. I'll do them in order. We'll start with the first Tony video here. Yeah.
I trust you, Jake. I trust you.
I've got my. No, these are good. Hey, I've had these on YouTube since the day
I've seen them.
Wednesday. Yeah, they haven't been taken down yet. They got a decent amount of views for it, but no. So what this? Yeah. So what will I mean, I'll just kind of go with my experience of it though. Initially was, I mean, I've been to AEW. I've been to the first AEW show here in Phoenix in February of either 22 or 23, whatever the last time they got 1 million viewers was. I went to that show. And I mean, I go to wrestling shows a ton. As I said on my channel, I've been going to wrestling shows since 2000 was the first time I went, was September of 2000. Have either of you guys been to an AEW show? Oh, did Chris leave? Chris is like, nope, I'm out. Up and
my mic is muted.
Oh, there we go.
I had double mic muted. I actually have been to an AEW show.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, I went to their go home show for Double or Nothing a year ago. If I'm wrong, it was 2 years, but I think it was last
year. Okay. Well, so I only went to one before, but I didn't have, I don't know, for people who haven't been to the AEW shows, I mean, obviously there is going to be people that stink. That's any wrestling show. But the two experiences I've had, because they've been in bigger arenas, I didn't have like the major smell issues, and we weren't really surrounded by that many sickos. Dis brought it up when I was on the show. We were talking last week before I went. He wanted to know what was like the ratio of like sickos to what you would call like normal wrestling fans. For me, I'd say it was at least like 70% normal, if not more. But we also were surrounded by a lot of empty seats. But the first video here that I will show is during the commercial break before the main event of MJF and Bandito. And I kind of agree with you, time traveling. Like, MJF is good. That was one of the main reasons I wanted to go to the show, was because he was going to be wrestling for sure. And I'm like, well, I can check that off my list, at least be able to see him wrestle. I mean, Bandito's fine, but I was happy to see MJF. But all right, here we go. This is Tony coming out, and Justin Roberts is the other one on the mic.
It is so great to be back in Phoenix!
Because they were here for Double or Nothing in May of 2025, but it's technically in Glendale, which is like 30 minutes west of Phoenix, kind of by the in the old Coyotes arena, and right by where the Cardinals play too. But the Coyotes moved to Utah, so that arena just kind of sits there now.
When we get done with this Dynamite main event, don't go anywhere, because Maximum Carnage Collision is coming right here to Phoenix tonight! Woo! We're going to come wrestle moments from now, and Justin, we got a big main event. Let's get ready to go.
World title. Hey, Tony, since you're out here, is it okay if I announce Collision in Tucson in March?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yes!
So they did that every single commercial break. Tony would try so very hard to get you, or Tony or Justin Roberts, and then even the wrestlers in between, they were trying so hard to get you to stay, because they knew that Dynamite was live, but they were taping Collision afterwards, and they knew that no one was going to really stay for it. And I'd say at least 30% of the crowd left, if not more. It was not. Who watches Collision? When was the last time anybody has actually watched Collision? Sorry, but and then this is Tony in between Dynamite and Collision, trying so hard to keep everybody in there. If anybody wants me to pause it, just let me know. But this is a cringe 3.5 minutes. But do you want me to speed it up, Dis? Do you want me to do that like you guys do?
Oh, you're fine. Do
right.
3.5 minutes? No. Yeah, it's up to you. You decide.
I'll hit play, and then I'll start speeding.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, it's Tony.
Please welcome back the president and founder of AEW, Tooney Talk!
Welcome back.
Whoops. Yeah, sorry. He that because he came out the first time for
right.
So this is right after too, by the way. This was literally right after. So He came out to try to keep us to stay. The main event finishes, and literally Bandito's music is still going on to leave the ring, and Tony came out.
Okay.
Bandito, who also came out dressed like he was a member of Guar for this match. I don't know if anybody else saw that too. I don't understand that, but apparently get Bandito's in Guar.
Got an incredible main event. I got some great news. There's some great wrestling still to come, Phoenix, and it's about to start right now.
Yeah, the grade count is through the roof on these.
I just wanted to ask you a couple of quick questions. Is there anybody out here that's ever been to AEW before tonight? Is there anybody that's here tonight for their first time at AEW? Are you having a good time? Well, this is one of the biggest shows of the year, Maximum Carnage.
It was on January 14th that this show was, and it was one of the biggest shows of the year.
real quick. I just want to say, I put someone in timeout in the chat. Thank you for everyone who messaged me about I got, dude, not only here, but like DMs when I was using that, I checked my DMs. I'm like, oh my God.
No, that was what we were talking about earlier on Saturday. I'm like, why do I recognize that name? Oh shit.
If you're listening, dude, just a timeout, man. Slow down. All right. That's all we're asking. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. No, you're good.
We're about to film the Maximum Carnage Collision moments from now, and you're all going to be able to watch it Saturday night. Woo! It's going to be on TNT. It's going to be on
Some might say he was on a collision course with that band.
And also, the screen looks terrible the whole time as a fan because that black bar there, that's where the hard cam is. That's where they're filming the hard cam from. So that black, no matter what's going on the video screen, there's just this giant black bar over it. It looks so stupid the whole night.
It is weird.
Yeah. And like, I noticed it in the first, like in the initial part, and you're just like, okay, maybe that was just that screen. And then for the entire show, you're like, yeah, that's just weird.
Hold on. This is really important. I'm sorry. Cubics, he was dressed as Aztec Batman. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Is that what that was? Okay, I didn't know. All right, I saw it. It looked like the movie Guar or the band Guar was all I thought. But
Aztec Batman kind of looks like Guar. I can't.
All right, no, I can see that. No, Aztec
Batman.
Sense. Yeah, it does, and that it does actually track. I should.
Todd asked 6 years in, and he's still asking if they've ever seen the show before.
That's not good.
Yeah, and then mind you, too, this is like a 5,000 seater concert hall that the top 3 levels were just dark and taped off. No one was up there, so there was like maybe 2,000 people there, maybe 2,200.
You're all gonna be there. Woo! You'll be able to watch it at home or wherever you like, any place you want. You can watch it Saturday, but you're gonna be here in the arena. You're
here it
all
is.
gonna be in 2 places at once.
Here it is.
Oh, the time cop.
Favorite movie. Time cop.
We started that.
Before I head back,
it's not.
I just wanted to not only thank all of you.
There it is. He puts it up on the screen.
We started that. Everyone is aware that we started this meme, right?
Yes.
Yes, I was aware.
Yeah. This is insane that we did this 2 years ago before he ever started going out. We mentioned that Tony was obsessed with Time Cop. And then within a month of us saying it, he's going out in front of crowds talking about how he's obsessed with Time Cop every time.
And this is one of those things too that like the crowd was very like, I compared it to Rocky Horror Picture Show because you'll see it coming up to people are like chanting to have pay-per-views here, and like everybody knew where he was going. The moment he said 2 places at once, you could feel the crowd going, oh, he's gonna do it, he's gonna say it, here we go. And it's like they're playing along, and then literally he begs everybody to stay, and everybody left after we. This is how I ran into Cubics after the show because we were outside of the arena by then.
Phoenix, thank you. Thank you, Phoenix. I really appreciate it. I also want to give it up to the women and men in the truck, in the back, and around the ring, changing the ring out right now. 52 weeks a year, just go off season and we'll clear around.
Give us a PTO, Tony. Jesus Christ. 52 weeks a year, no days off, but Tony gives you a crew chant with 2,000 people. Thanks, Tony. It's like a pizza party from your corporation.
It's time to speed this up. Let's get to the
end. All right. No, we don't give you days off. We're just going to give you a crew chant.
You are a fantastic sports town, and there's only one sport that goes year round.
Wait. Pause it. Actually, pause it. I'm gonna drop something that people will come back to at some point. But yeah, let's chant for the crew right after there's rumors that you fired 95.
Ooh, I forgot about that part. You're right.
Or I'm sorry, ended your union contract. That has just disappeared too. Have you noticed that? That is just nobody's talking about that anymore.
Well, wait, what happened?
Apparently, according to the Kevin Kelly podcast, Tony ended a union contract that got rid of 95 union employees from AEW right at the New Year, right over Christmas.
Yeah, I wonder if that's because they were protesting him for not paying well.
I don't know. Maybe it's because one of them was suing him. You know, I don't know.
Well, but it's not in the contract to get beat up by John Moxley. I know he's this jiu-jitsu master, but I don't think it's in the contract for union workers. I gotta get assaulted by a guy who loses to accountants.
Home Depot clerk. I still say that's where the AEW belt was. It was the Home Depot clerk that beat Moxley in the jiu-jitsu tournament. He was wearing it around his smock.
All right. Sometimes I just like to drop stuff in there and people will talk about it.
You're good. I love it.
WTV all year.
First, guys.
Now, that's a hell of an idea. I will say this. I thought that AEW in Phoenix put on one of the best pay-per-views I've seen.
That has nothing to do with Phoenix. What does that have to do with Phoenix?
It was in Glendale. It was in the hockey arena, 30 minutes west of Phoenix.
Yeah, but he's like, I think AEW in Phoenix put on one of the best pay-per-views. How is that good for Phoenix?
They're chanting All in Phoenix. That was in Glendale. And the thing is they didn't even sell out that arena for All in Phoenix. Like the upper level was, oh God, yeah.
It's Tony Khan saying, I think I did a great job. Like that's all that is.
We're on the greatest run of shows. These are the best shows we've ever done.
Guys, I promise after you deliver for Double or Nothing, one thing I can promise is Phoenix is going to be getting another AEW pay-per-view. You better believe you absolutely crushing your debut. And now let's have a fantastic first time ever Maximum Carnage collision right now. Woo! We got big fights for the top stars. Or do you say we get it started right now?
There's Tony with the audience before the show. That was
all right.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you think we need to definitely
I mean, I could
look at,
the BTE stuff is funny, but I mean, you guys can go to my channel to see it. If you watch BTE, apparently it's been on their BTE. Yeah.
Yeah. Go. Let's give you some
right
here.
The at All Jake Takes on YouTube channel. Come hang out. We have fun. Hey, we've been doing a lot better with our channel since we've been on this show. So appreciate having you guys around. I really do.
Well, thank you so much, Jake. Now I do have some like hard hitting questions I need to ask.
What's up?
How was the smell?
Because it's a vaulted ceiling, it's one of those things where it's a theater that goes straight up. So there's like 5 levels. There's the ground level, the mid level I was in, and then there's the suites and 2 mezzanines above that. There was nobody in the suites or above. So the smell just went up to the top, heat rises. So, I mean, I definitely smelled one guy as I was like walking out of the arena, the guy in front of me, but that was it. It smelled worse when I went to the show at the basketball arena because the upper level was right above you, so there was no ceiling. There was nowhere for it to go. I have like a mock MJF scarf that one of my friends got me a couple years ago. I purposely brought that to use as a gas mask if I needed it. That was the whole point of that, was in case I needed to cover my face.
Cubics in the chat says it's the least smelling show he's been to. That's great.
I mean, I was surprised. I really was. Like, I brought a mask.
You know what though? I will say it is Phoenix in January.
Yes.
If it was Phoenix
perfect,
if it was Phoenix in September or August, we might have a different.
Oh God, yeah, no,
story coming out of that.
That's like there's a reason they've only done SummerSlam here once. They did it in 2003, and we're great to come to anytime from like November to March. Perfect show weather here.
Okay, my other question. I have 2 more actually.
Please.
Ratio of men to women.
I saw this. So I saw a grand total of 5 women. 2 of them had more hair on their legs than I do. I'm not kidding. I wanted to get a picture of the one that was like right behind us that I couldn't though. Like I did with her dude. Maybe it was a dude that was with her. I wasn't really sure. It was kind of dark, but I could see like the shit. Yeah. And then I was outside in the smoking area because there was that tag match with the Bucks and Jet Speed and the Callis family. I wasn't watching that. Like they came out and I'm like, nope, went and hit my recreational weed pen on the patio. Pass.
So
how about? Oh, go ahead, Todd.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say. So my little fun story from mine, from my trip, if you don't mind me sharing real quick.
No, go ahead,
please.
Is that so when I went to the show, I went with my buddy, and he's not a wrestling fan, but he did go to his first wrestling show the year prior, and that was WrestleMania in Los Angeles. So that was his first wrestling show ever, WrestleMania. So we pull up to the arena in Mechanics or Bakersfield. It was like Bakersfield. We pull up into Bakersfield, California, which is so far away from where I'm at. We pull into it, and for the first thing he notices is like, this is smaller. So I was like, yeah, WrestleMania is kind of a big event. Don't worry, that like if you were to go Raw, it would still be bigger than this, but it would be closer to what you'd expect. And we go into the show, and we're watching it, and he's not having a bad time by any stretch of the imagination. But on the ride home, he's like, I couldn't help but notice that, and I don't mean this offensively or anything. I actually almost like this because it makes me feel like I could do this. But a lot of them kind of look like they could work at Target.
In Reseda.
Yeah. And he was just like, yeah, that was interesting.
I had that issue when I tried to show AEW to Max, like back when I was watching AEW regularly, and I was legitimately trying to get him into wrestling. He connected to Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Orange Cassidy because he was 7. But everyone else, he was just like, how are they so strong? Like it was a matter of like, they don't look bigger than you. So how are they doing these things? Like it doesn't, to have a guy like a Jungle Boy or an Orange Cassidy makes sense. You have to have the giants that they're able to beat. You have to have a Goliath for David to be important. And when you don't have any Goliaths, it's just a guy running around with a sock with a rock in it, and it's just not going to work out in the long run. So yeah. I totally get that point of view. So one last thing, I mentioned kids. They keep talking about how they are going for a family-friendly audience. They have family-friendly pricing. How many families did you see there, Jake?
In my section, 1. They showed a couple on TV, like on the screen, that were apparently in the seated section below us, but 2 rows in front of us, there was a family in front of us, and the father was massive, like he's a big guy, and they bought the kid the White Castle mask, and he tried to put it on, and like I'm pretty sure like the kid can't wear it now because I'm pretty sure he like stretched it over his head. He was like a 5XL, but that was the only family that was at least in our section. And like, I mean, I would say the section probably had like 18 rows, probably like somewhere around there. And like maybe the first 6 had people in them. And we were 2 of 6 people in our row. And there was like 5 in the row behind us. It was, and then like to the rows to the right and to the right of us, they were fairly empty too. The only like the downstairs area that was like what they showed on camera that was lit, that was where people were. And I'm positive that sometime during Collision, they let anybody who was in the section I was in come down into there because at least 30% of the audience left when Tony was done. We were debating. We're like, well, we'll see what's going to happen next. And mind you, like Dynamite had just aired. And you saw all the time in between Dynamite and Collision. They did it pretty quickly. And the first thing to come out for Collision is Jet Speed, who had just wrestled like less than an hour before. And they're teaming with Hangman, who wrestled 90 minutes before. Like you've got other people, like, I don't know, just have like Kyle Fletcher, Mark Briscoe, somebody on the show that we haven't seen yet to keep us in our seats. I don't know. And everybody was like, yeah, pass. We're done. I'm out.
No, again. So I guess as we close this up, how many people there do you think are the same people that you see defending AEW to the death online? And how many people there do you think, like, if you're talking percentages, were people who were just there because they like wrestling and wrestling was in town and it was cheap and we're cool guys and we're going to come hang out and watch some wrestling?
Yeah, no, I mean, so I don't think I really saw anybody, at least in our areas, that I would consider to be like the diehard internet defenders. Like there might be some people in there, but if anything, I think they would have been more like Boris, who would have been like able to have a conversation about it and having fun. Because I wasn't very quiet about some of the booing and things that I was doing, and nobody gave me any shit. And I would say most of the merch that I saw was WWE merch. Like there was this group of like, and I wish I'd gotten a picture of them because they were like kids dressed up like punks, like hardcore punk kids, but like they had like on the back of his denim jacket, the patch that was on there was an NWO patch, you know, and like and the buttons were like wrestling buttons and stuff, but they were a little bit too far away from us, but they were really into Darby too. And they did not like Pac. They were very loud about that.
Yeah, so it sounds to me like a lot of their core fan base, the ones that we kind of gloss over, are just normal dudes who will watch any wrestling that comes on or that comes to their town, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
At least the people that go to the shows, because I'm pretty sure
those are actual fans. Those are the actual fans.
Yes,
those are not.
Yeah, because the people that are defending it online, like they don't go out in public. You get like, what is it, like wrestling otaku or whatever, who, you know, yells at women in public while he eats McDonald's. Like that's not, you know, you don't see many of those people there. Those are the online freaks. It was definitely just like normal wrestling fans for the most part.
The reality is voices that are online that are super negative. It really is a small fraction of, I think, any of these fan bases. I do think that they're a vocal minority of the greater wrestling community, but they make it a very uninhabitable space for the people who aren't that way. And that's kind of what the issue is. It creates this perception that every single, you know, person is a toxic individual. I have plenty of AEW people, be it at work or even in my, you know, my friend circles. I do have like a number of people who are AEW fans, and while I might disagree and I might roll my eyes at some of the, you know, some of the things, we have civil discourse. We don't fight. We don't do name calling. We don't do any of that stuff. It's just like, at the worst, it's a little eye rolling. Like, I don't understand how you.
Yeah.
It's good to hear.
Yeah.
One of my closest friends in my wrestling circle, we met through, like, we're fans of the same English soccer team, and so he's like from Austin and he runs that group there, and so we've met at different like events and stuff, but we're connected because we're wrestling fans. But
I'm sorry, I had to take Jake out. I didn't know he was a soccer fan, so I had to remove him from the show.
That's fair.
I'm joking.
No, that's fair.
What did I do wrong?
That's fair. No, I ate that. I mean, that's fine. That's fine.
No,
it's fine. But this does have a wrestling connection within it, like that's coming because like my buddy who like he knows wrestling and is a good wrestling fan normally, but he just loves AEW with it. We disagree, but we can have joke back and forth with it. But like also he was at the stadium last Saturday when Finn Balor was there and got a picture with Finn Balor at the stadium with it. So like he is a real wrestling fan with it. But yeah, no, I pretty much only watch the English game because they actually like hit each other and stuff. I don't watch that diving Spanish bullshit.
You're fine.
No, I know.
My kid played soccer for a couple of years, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really hope this is going to be a nightmare. Luckily, it got competitive, and he was like, I'm done.
That happens.
That's
what's me. It sounds like me without sports. Like, oh, you guys really want to try?
Like Jim Halpern. I played for the purple team. When I was, okay, so yeah, I always had a sneaking suspicion that AEW fans in general in real life were a lot more normal than what we deal with on an everyday basis. So I thought that maybe covering that would kind of, as we move forward and we start getting more casual people who are just kind of YouTube fans and hang out and don't really go to X or anything like that. You should know that when we talk about the sickos and we talk about the AEW fans, we're not talking about you. We're talking about specifically the people that we have to deal with every day, who we have told repeatedly we know you don't actually support the product, right? That's the biggest issue with it.
If I may, for me, like this whole conversation, I will fully admit that at points I myself have gotten a little toxic at points because I can be a bit of a child. But the reality of it is that like none of this is about like hating AEW or not wanting people to like something. All of this boils down to is there have been people online who have made being a fan of it incredibly just, I don't know, not fun. They ruined the discourse at points because like I never wanted to get into talking about rating. Only reason the ratings never came up, people were trying to use that as some kind of way to justify AEW wasn't going downhill. To me, like, and honestly, I felt guilty of that with the WWE stuff. Like, I failed to acknowledge people's real complaints about like the way the product was there because I just didn't see it. And I guess what I'm trying to say here is, I think there are a lot of really good AEW fans out there. Even if we disagree on what makes for a good wrestling show, I think we can have civil disagreements. I think we can just have conversations about wrestling that are fun, like we used to have when we were kids.
Yeah.
And I think there's plenty of space for that in this space, or plenty of room for that in space.
And I there's part of me that wants to kind of let certain kinds of fans know, right? And I'm looking at like a Grumpy Omega or one of those guys, right? Look, we're gonna. This is how we talk. I gave Chris Connor crap earlier. I kicked Jake off the show.
I was just gonna say I got booted.
Like that's just kind of what we do. Yeah. That's our lane, guys. But if you're cool, we can have a discussion and we can talk about this stuff. And we could even be friends. I mean, there's nothing that's keeping like I don't care. The fact that I don't like AEW does not prevent me from liking someone as a human being who does like AEW. We might be a little more harsh about things, but that's just because I'm 43 years old, and man, if I didn't know how to roast people when I was growing up, I would have been dead by now. Yeah. So, it's just, that's our nature. But if you want to have a conversation, you want to talk to us, that's fine. We'll probably throw some jabs in there. We'll probably make some jokes. We're probably going to do that stuff, but we will still have the discussion. It's when you refuse to have the discussion, when you take us in bad faith, when you misquote us, when you pretend like we say something that we just completely don't say, or for a fact that we are being sarcastic and you pretend that we aren't. That's the point that I'm just not going to interact with you or deal with you anymore. So, I am opening lines of communication. We've talked about before when they have debates and stuff on This Is Awful, and we are more than welcome to have you guys on. Hey, you know who I'm friends with now? Andrew Baydala. Me and Andrew Baydala are chums. We're Andrew. He's just like, hey man, everything's great. I love wrestling. I love everything. I love Tony Khan. I love Triple A. Everything's great. And I'm just like, you're a motherfucker. And he's just like, me and Andrew, motherfucker. Me and Andrew made it. Tom, you know what I'm talking about, you Pookie Bear over there. You know what I'm talking about. We're all best. Andrew,
he just gets.
Time Traveler's like, no. We're still
He gives the Jonah Hill just now.
Andrew comes to me. He's like, yeah, I think, but you can't. Don't tell people. I think I'm like, we're cool, Andrew. We're cool, Andrew Baydala. Andrew fucking Baydala. We're good.
I wouldn't say me and Andrew Bebe are cool. I would say that I'm currently at neutrality with them. I'm not going to.
Did you call him Bay-Day or is he a bidet?
No. My nickname for him is Andrew Bebe.
Dude, okay. And this is not meant. Okay,
it's not meant with any disrespect. It was funny because of Adam Cole.
I mentioned this to someone who hit me up a couple days ago. Say what you want about that man, but when I was in the hospital, Andrew Baydala hit me up and asked me if I was okay. Andrew Baydala did.
That's
All
good.
right?
Like I've never doubted that he's a good dude in terms of like that kind of stuff. I just don't like my issue is when I feel like people are telling me they're not selling something, and I feel like I'm sold something. Like that's always been my issue. It just didn't feel like it never felt genuine. But like it's not like it's nothing personal. It's just I'm not a super. If I don't know you and I don't talk to you and I get a vibe, I just don't like. It's not a big deal though because it's just the internet. Like how I feel about him doesn't matter. I have hardly any followers.
I'm starting to understand him. And that dude is a guy who just wants to like everything. You know what I mean? Like he just wants to like it.
And I'm open to it. And that's one of the reasons why like I don't have any issue with him anymore. It was my fault in terms of
We had bad intel. That's all.
No, it's not even no. I'm not even gonna blame. No, I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not blaming anyone for anything I said, anything I felt. I am my own person. I'm an adult. I was childish, and I took issue with him without knowing him. That's my fault.
All right, we are we're gonna get to the TNA. The Rascalz AEW situation, but let's get through a couple more of these super chats that we got. Did I read it already? Or we got Regina Sharp here for $5. To clarify, I just think that Tony has the bug really, really bad. He'll do whatever it takes to keep the wrestling business. So I did bring this. Yeah, I did bring this up in the conversation. Totally agree. Excuse me. I think that Tony we used to call it the sickness. Remember back in the day, like in the early 2000s, it was like you have the sickness. You want to spread. Now, Tony recently called it a virus, which makes it sound way weirder. But there is a level of we want to we just can't help ourselves. You know what I mean? All right, Denisha, I already addressed yours. We got Awful Wrestling.
Hey,
he's actually here. He popped in for a second. Tony Khan likes Time Cop only. I had to do the pause like Awful does. Only because the movie takes place on his birthday, October 10th. He also wears the same green bomber jacket as Jean-Claude Van Damme in the movie. Cringe. Yes, thank you, Awful Wrestling, for $5. That is correct. And we got Andre Adams for $4.99. That wasn't a woman.
Andre just likes to just throw haymakers. No,
he swings for the fences every time.
He knows, and the thing is that he knows what's gonna get me. That wasn't a woman, Jake. That was Nyla Rose.
I mean, could have been. I say,
does Nyla Rose exist anymore? Where has she been?
Same with Britt Baker, Anna Jay.
I mean, it's like you're building this tag team division where every tag team is built on the idea of, hey, we're friends now. So, like, you can't find anyone for Nyla Rose. You can't find.
In fairness, Tony has so many of these friends. You know, it's like he gets the new toy because this toy is amazing. Look at this thing. And, hold on, Awful. And this new toy. And this toy is amazing. And I love this toy. Wait a minute. And again, every toy that he loves, he shoves the older toys aside. Like, here. He's like that 5-year-old kid. You get like Transformers 4, and then the next week it's G.I. Joe's, and then the week after that it's like, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh, and then all the other toys like throws them away, and you're like, why did I buy them for you? Well, I liked them at the time.
All right, thank you guys so much. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I haven't watched AEW in a little while. The Grizzled Young Vets are doing stuff, right?
Ring of Honor, as far as
they're Ring of Honor. They've been shadow banned.
Oh, so, weird. So, okay, well then, obviously, what? I'm trying to think. Who else?
Well, it's weird because
so Josh Alexander's had a rocket strapped to him, right?
He's fighting Kenny this week, but he's lost pretty much all of his matches.
I've never seen him win in a tag team or singles match. Never actually seen it myself.
Remember, But you remember how when TNA and AEW were working together, everyone was like, we need to see Josh Alexander with Skinny Omega. They are giving us that match.
That's good.
So that is something. But other than that, he's just been hanging out in the Callis family.
Okay, well then surely Megan Bain's doing great, right?
She wasn't on TV for like 2 weeks, and then Tony Khan made a tweet where she's like, Megan Bain is here tonight, and then she came on. Yeah, that happened. But
on a collision that nobody saw.
On a collision. It was Collision. Yeah, it was Collision.
Yeah.
Are they still pushing Thekla?
Who?
Actually, no, she's they gave her a Marilyn Manson complete rip-off entrance music with the Beautiful People, and she looks like she's gonna face Chris Statlander because she's got her little duos with Julia Hart and Sky Blue. I had no idea though. When she showed up on Dynamite, I was like, who?
Yeah,
that one.
Yeah, she's
Britt Baker's back, right?
Well,
you need the cricket sound effect for that one.
Yeah.
This is going great. Okay, well.
Good.
Hey, but they signed people. Did you hear that? Did you see they signed a whole bunch of people?
How the Rascalz doing?
They looked out of a door.
It depends on which one.
Certain
Rascals.
No,
Okay.
guys.
You know what?
No, guys.
I'm gonna let me do this real quick because I need to make the time sample when I search later.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay, now go ahead and talk about the.
Well, no, I was just gonna say. Well, no, you guys must have missed out, like, on the fact that the Rascalz entered free agency specifically as a group for the first time in the history of their careers. And like that was a big deal. It was a huge selling point for them. So like, surely if they signed someplace, that's going great, right?
Well, why don't we talk about it? First, before we get into that, let me just let you guys know we have over 100 people in the chat. Make sure you are liking this stream, and if you want us to read your comments on the air, make sure you give us a super chat. Any super chat over $50 we will interrupt the show for, and make sure you are sharing us. But yes, it is time to talk about what everyone on earth has been talking about, which is, as soon as I can find the story here, there it is. So, since we did a show last Tuesday, it was announced that the Rascalz had signed to AEW. Jake, I believe you were part of breaking that story.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was also on TV as well. But who watches the show, so they didn't know. But yeah, they had a little video package with like the mushroom and like the hippie stuff, and like the Rascalz coming to AEW, and apparently, at least 3 of them cut a promo that was on Collision, but like I said, everybody was gone by then. But yeah, they debuted in Phoenix. Yeah.
So the Rascalz, all 4 of them, including the former Wes Lee, Desmond Xavier, they signed with AEW. And if you know anything about the Rascalz history, it's a big deal for them to kind of stick together. Especially after Trey Miguel went to WWE. Wasn't it Trey Miguel who went? Not Trey Miguel. Who went to WWE?
It was Wesley and Zach Wentz.
Zach Wentz.
Yeah.
Zach Wentz went to WWE, and then it turned out he had the Charlie Chaplin mustache, so they got rid of him. Right. Excuse me.
I think there was some domestic violence allegations from the ex-girlfriend.
Knox, yeah, there was that whole thing.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I'm like, it was a double whammy. Yeah.
So after that happened, he went back to TNA, and it kind of became a whole thing where it's like, we are the Rascalz, we are together, we are, we're staying together. That was,
and he did make an appearance during like the TNA angle where like the Zachary Wentz was back on to NXT TV during the battle stuff. So like it seemed like every like water under bridges. Everybody seemed to be doing cool.
That was the whole thing. He was willing to make the appearance, for them to go and do the whole free agency thing. Like it, yeah. Sorry, this whole thing makes me pissed.
I think all of us here are going to be angry about this. So they signed a contract with AEW. Now I know AEW doesn't care at all about TNA. they don't give two shits about TNA. Although when TNA gets a contract, suddenly they are interested in the Rascalz and Jake something for some reason. Jake something, who I believe has had more contract issues in the past 2 years than any other wrestler on the face of the earth. There have been more times where I've heard Jake something is a free agent. And they were never interested in him before, but suddenly they're interested in him now. And the Rascalz, who they could have signed 4 years ago and chose not to. Time.
You know what annoys me about the Jake something thing?
What's that?
I'm a huge Brian Cage fan.
Yep.
Why have you done nothing with Brian Cage?
Yep. What is the point of signing Jake something?
Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong.
We have a Jake something at home.
I have been a fan.
No, just kidding.
I have been a fan of Jake something for a while, but I also thought that he was exactly where he should be, doing exactly what he should be doing with exactly the audience that he should be doing it for. The idea that Jake something is someone that like is a hot prospect that you need to sign. It's the same as like Steve Macklin stayed home for the TNA debut because I'm sure that after Jake something, he thought he was going to get a contract with AEW. And I'm sorry, Steve Macklin. Okay. Oh, Kimberly. Thank you, Brad. Kimberly, not Tegan Knox, was the one who accused him of it.
Right. And I knew it was proven false too, but yeah, that was
Tegan Knox, Kimberly. It's almost the exact same.
And like with Jake something, they call him now he's Jake Doyle, and he's now just another random member of the Callis family. There's 47 of those guys.
Oh, you can't forget. He has a title shot now.
Oh, yeah.
First
Now he's
match he wins, gets a title shot.
Well, surely the Callis family has produced a top star for them. And no, Kyle Fletcher does not count.
Nope. All the Callis family has done is make people angry about Takeshita.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
You know what? Yes, because Takeshita deserves better.
Everyone on earth believes Takeshita deserves better. So
Shopping to Okada.
But
wait, hold on. Well, wait. You mean to tell me Okada didn't do the right thing and take the pin for Takeshita? Really?
No, hey, I got a quote from Okada. It's called "bitch." That's it. I have no idea what it means. But it's just a response to everything.
It's the subject line and the email. Bitch.
You know what? Real quick, if you don't mind, I feel like I can imagine the conversation with Tony and Okada. It's like, all right, hey, listen, Okada, I really need you to do the job to Kesha. And Okada just looks down. Bitch.
And it was the same conversation with Moxley that should have put over Fletcher. That final for the C2 should have been Fletcher and Takeshita. Moxley just gave him and looked up and gave him the double burn. Bitch. It was the same thing, though.
Yeah.
Same fucking conversation.
Hey, but we gotta give Okada credit. He put over that young whippersnapper, John Moxley, Continental title.
That was the worst. I was watching that with Hoffel when this was in the and just I told him what's gonna happen. He's like, no, they can't. I'm like, no, this is what's gonna happen. And just as it happened, like, no, you're just burying these kids. Nobody wants to see Okada and Moxley twice in the same night. Nobody wants to see them once, let alone twice.
So the Rascalz get signed by AEW. Finally, these guys are going to get their due. Wesley, who everyone loves Wesley, and he went back to TNA for 5 minutes as Desmond Xavier, and now he's signed to AEW, and everyone's happy. And then when they debut, there's only 3. Trey Miguel's AEW release came from up above, but it had nothing to do with Tony Khan. Nothing to do with Tony Khan. No, guys, this has nothing to do. The guy who has gone on every interview in the past 6 months and talked about how he is the top dog, the end all be all, the number one guy, the end of the conversation, Tony Khan, he's the boss, had nothing to do with a signee who you signed 1, 2, 3 days before this report came out getting released. Nothing to do with it. No one's really saying much well, some people are saying certain things, but my understanding, this is Dave Meltzer, but should I do Dave Meltzer voice?
Yes.
But my understanding is whatever it is that came from up above, I know there's a lot of rumors, but it had nothing to do with anybody at AEW talent, anything like that, or Tony. Something happened from way up, and he was released. That is what we know at this point about Trey McGill. I mispronounced his name because it was Tony. Because it was Dave Meltzer.
You probably called him Troy McGee.
Troy McGill. So
who's this higher power? Cue the Vince me. Like, it was me, Austin.
So is there someone up above, someone lording over AEW? So let's go into these questions before we start getting into the why. Yes, time.
Thank you. No, I just find it funny. So let me get this straight. You've had problems with this kind of thing before, and now you don't just run things by WB before you sign people? Like, if WB has that kind of power, why would you not run it by people? Why would you run it not by them?
A lot of the rumor is that when they were trying to sign them before, WBD prevented them from doing so. Right. So you think that suddenly 4 years, 5 years later, they're just going to be okay with it? Well, and also, I guess my big question is, do you think WBD gives any fucks about Trey McGill when they're going through this sale right now, when they're going through everything they're going through? Do you think that they're taking a second of their day and saying, wait a second, isn't that the guy who said things about gay people? No.
Well, that was exactly what I was just about to say in a way, in the sense of like, I gotta say though, like, I think it's impressive that someone at WBD is such a huge fan of wrestling. They have this kind of pocket knowledge of these people.
So we're gonna look at the supposed reason so the word out there is that it was because of things that he said in the past. So let's look at some of the things that he said in the past. Now, this one here, he talked to a man named David Starr, who, if you know David Starr, he is a canceled wrestler. He got canceled during the Speaking Out movement. But before that, he was a tag team partner with MJF. Did you know? Anybody aware of that? David Starr, tag team partner with MJF. Friends with Alicia Atout, MJF's wife. And apparently David Starr is also of the Jewish faith, and he posted something where he went to the wall and
the Wailing Wall,
the Wailing Wall. And Trey McGill posted, "I'm waiting for your receipts from your donations," talking about how David Starr had talked about donating to past charities and stuff like that. So he did say that. There was more on David Starr specifically. Some of it got a little anti-Semitic, I will say, absolutely. But this was also 2019, and Trey McGill, I believe at the time, was like 19, 20 years old, like very young man.
I gotta say, that group does not have good luck with the anti-Semitic. No, they don't have great luck. They're 2 for 4.
Yeah, definitely. Because Zachary Wentz, which is a whole other thing, did something very similar. So a little while later, he did make more comments. And I'm not going to, I'll say the first part. Obviously, you're gay. And then I will replace that word with blank after this. Most people as unattractive as you become blank out of fear of rejection from the opposite sex. Wow. So you find comfort, ability, and familiarity in the same sex and end up matching someone who's the same as you. Blank because there's no other effing options, you ugly B word. Okay.
Wow, that's like Facebook too. Like that's like that.
Yeah,
that's like your mama's on there, man. Oh God,
well, that man said some stuff. I'm not going to deny that man said some stuff.
Yeah, I had this coming.
Yeah, so he did apologize. And a lot of people came out and said they forgave him. And he kind of went through the whole ringer about he avoided cancellation because people said that's not what's in his heart. He did the right thing. A lot of these tweets have been taken down, guys. I got
two.
I can tell. Jake, did I go? I went to you looked
yeah,
for
I tried
him.
too.
I had Discord looking for him. A lot of this stuff has been taken down.
Yeah,
So,
I got a lot of this. I got a lot of repeating about what it was, but never any direct quotes or direct anything. It was
right.
Yeah, it's been wiped.
To be clear, I'm joking. He didn't deserve it.
No, okay. So
to be clear, I don't. Yeah.
So as a young man, he said these things. He went through the ringer. He already got denied work at AEW once over it. It seems like a bad thing, obviously. Something you shouldn't say, obviously. But it also seems like you would have known that in 2026 when you sign him in a company where supposedly the network has told you can't sign him before. And it seems like that would be something that you understand and is kind of in the past at this point. But can I bring up another tweet? Let me just bring up another tweet that I think might have a lot more to do with this than the ones that we've seen so far. But this tweet isn't from Trey Miguel.
Oh.
This tweet is from Alicia Atout, now known as Alicia Atout Friedman. Ooh. And this is from when they were a couple, when they dated and did blogs together. It's weird that MJF's wife has these pictures and are up, they're still up on the internet.
Yeah,
and Trey Miguel gets hired and fired. Now, there's questions as to why would you hire him knowing this thing? I agree. Why would you hire him knowing that he has a relationship with your champion's ex, knowing that he said those things in the past, knowing that he went after David Starr in a quote-unquote anti-Semitic way, who is friends with your champion? Why would you hire him? Does anyone have an answer for me? Why would you hire him?
I have an answer.
I want to hear Chris answer that question. Go, Chris.
New toy. This toy is amazing. Look at this. I got 4 toys in one signing. It's going to be great. Wait a minute. Maxwell, Maxwell, I don't want you yelling at me. I don't like being yelled at. Okay, we'll fire one of these toys. Oh, God, I miss my toy. But, hey, I still got 3 toys. That's what it is. Let's face it. Tony loves signing people. He wanted to sign all these guys to screw TNA. Then all of a sudden, MJF finds out, probably, complains a lot. Tony being Mr. Anti-confrontational. And, okay, MJF, don't worry. Don't stop yelling at me. Okay, we're all buddies. And he fired Trey Miguel. Let's get it off. It's not a WB executive. Yes. It's not a higher power.
Thank you.
I know the AEW media mafia and Dave, I love Tony Meltzer are all going to say it, but this is MJF. Let's just call it what it is. Let's be honest. He was screwing, a woman who is now MJF's wife. MJF doesn't want to see this guy, so basically it's like when Mercedes Moné all of a sudden came in and Sammy Guevara disappeared.
Yeah.
Same thing.
He got banned to that Shadow Realm you were talking about in Ring of Honor.
Shadow Realm.
I have a little twist on it, but I think Time and me are sniffing up the same tree, so I'm going to let him go for it.
So I unfortunately don't have my tinfoil hat. I can't do the Alex Jones special. But I personally feel, and I believe this and I are on the same page here, I think you're kind of right, Chris. I do believe Tony fired him. I, however, think that it's a little bit more nefarious than that. I personally believe, going back to what I said at the start of this, the Rascalz wanted to hit free agency as a squad. This was the first time they were ever going to do it. This might be the last time they ever had the chance to do it. And I think that had AEW said to them, hey, listen, we want you three and we don't want Trey, they would have said, nah, that's cool. Money's nice, but we're going to stick with boys and we're just going to go back to TNA and work the indies and then try and get a spot in WWE NXT or something. I think they would have stayed together as a collective. I think the only way to get them was to sign them and then fire Trey and make it and blame WB.
Yes,
I can see it. I just don't think Tony's
makes a
that
lot of
creative.
sense.
Well, no. Let me. Can I add a little? Can I add a little to make it to where it's not Tony? Because
Please.
I think that ultimately, I will go a step further, and I think that ultimately, this is MJF.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Tony ultimately gets to decide.
Well, yes, but I think the motivation is MJF. And while I think you are correct about the idea being that we have to sign all of them and then we can release one of them, I think there's more nefarious things behind that, because how is Trey Miguel going to get work now?
Yeah, he can't.
Yeah, that's why he's stepping away. That's the yeah.
He's not going to get work. They have killed that man's career. MJF. And maybe it's not MJF. Maybe it's not. Maybe there's I've heard the theory that it's the Young Bucks, which, you know what? Sure. I totally believe that the Young Bucks don't want better tag teams in, and Trey Miguel has developed into like the tag team within the Rascalz has developed into one of the best tag teams in wrestling, similar to what like the Motor City Machine Guns were 15 years ago. And now that they are coming into AEW, getting rid of Trey Miguel takes away that specific chemistry that you have. I believe that could be possible. But MJF getting somebody hired and then getting them fired, and not only in the process getting them blackballed from the industry because they slept with his wife and because they helped cancel his tag team partner, makes a lot of sense to me.
Did she ever post anywhere that like Trey was the biggest she ever had, and MJF's just she's just so mad about it? You know how some of those guys are that like really are always mad at their wife's ex-boyfriend forever because they've never really satisfied. I don't know. No, I feel like that Tony was just so pumped to get something over on TNA and be able to have that of like, we signed them and then, you know, they're choosing us over TNA. And yeah, it all just
I think
tracks.
I think that from the second the idea was pitched, Tony knew that he was going to release Trey. And I believe that I do believe that the main thing was that he was going to, we need to get all of them and they won't all come if he doesn't come. I do agree with that. But I think there's a fun, happy side effect where they get to completely cancel and ruin the career of the guy who made the champion's life a living hell for the past whatever years.
I could see that. I could totally see a world where MJF knows they're coming up to free agency, goes to Tony and says, "Hey, listen, I really don't like this guy," and then Tony, you know, reassures him, "Don't worry, I'm going to take care of it," because he doesn't want to piss MJF off,
or a
because
situation
his
where
contract's coming up.
Tony goes to him and goes, "Hey, we're going to hire this guy. Are you okay with it?" And he's like, "I don't know." He goes, "Don't worry, we're going to fire him like 5 minutes later."
Yeah.
You know,
it's incredibly screwed up. I don't believe the WB thing. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's possible. Like, I accept it's possible. I just don't believe it. Like, I would need more than Fightful and Dave saying that's the case.
Here's the problem with the WBD thing. If that's true, why was Zachary Wentz hired?
Exactly. Thank you.
This is more recent. Why is Darby Allin still in that company after he was been accused of domestic violence? They don't care. This is just okay. Look, we gave you the money, Tony. Shut up and just leave us alone.
I've said before. The WBD executive is my girlfriend in Canada.
Right? Exactly. Yes.
It's the person you make up to blame things on that
you met her over the summer break at camp or on
I met her. Yeah,
family vacation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I met her at the camp, and she lives in Canada. She's really hot.
Yeah.
But she's strict, so
She goes to a different school,
she goes to
whatever,
a different
She's
school.
your
whatever version of that you want. That's exactly what that is.
Yeah, that's what the WBD executive is. They're Jay in the chat, a sock face with the N-word.
Yep.
You have that. You have the Bucks with their past homophobic comments. You have Jericho.
Anyone who was at PWG.
Anyone. Exactly. Yeah. The list goes on.
I mean,
It's ridiculous. There's a 5% possibility that MJF, because he does movies for WBD, might know somebody higher up that can get somebody in trouble. There is a small possibility that MJF called somebody and said, "Hey, you see what this guy said?" And then he gets fired. Very, very small. But most likely, this is clearly Tony Khan. This is clearly predetermined. It was pre-planned.
Yeah.
My question to you guys, though, do you think that Trey Miguel has a future in the business? Or do you think they accomplished their goal? I'll go with time first. Go.
What was the question? I was reading the comments.
Do you think that Trey Miguel has a future in the business, or do you think they accomplished their goal?
I think Trey's probably got enough friends that he's going to be able to get bookings on the indies. I don't like, and I imagine TNA would take it back. Like TNA is one of those operations that everyone's kind of a family kind of situation. So I could see them bringing him back. And I could see him getting work on the indies at some point. I don't know that he'll ever reach the heights he could have. Well, I mean, he may have hit. I don't know. I don't like saying this about people because I think people can surprise you. But I think that he won't go as far as he could have with other Rascalz. But this could be a good thing for him. This could force him to reinvent himself. Like,
look at Santana.
This could wind up being a blessing in disguise for him. You just don't know until you don't know. Like if he loves it enough and he's got the skill set, he's got the mind for it, he'll make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
I agree. I think he's good enough. Right. I think that's the thing, is that he's good enough.
Yeah. And like, what if he goes to like Japan too or something and has like a decent run over there and one of their companies, like you said, on the indies and stuff?
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, he can't do like CMLL, but he could do something in Mexico. If not, just go right back to TNA, and maybe TNA wants to give a middle finger back to Tony, and they push him, and he has a great moment.
We forget, like, when Trey was by himself, he was the X Division champion. He had a different gimmick. He's the one of all the Rascalz who I've looked and went, he's more than just a rascal. The rest of them, like Zachary Wentz, I think I have the lowest in terms of like trajectory. He's a Cirque du Soleil guy. He does his spots. He is rehearsed. You know it. I think Wesley is just a little bit too old and same kind of wrestler, does all his spots. I'm not sure what's going on with the young goat, Myron Reed. He never can stay there one place. So look, I wouldn't be surprised if in a year we're talking, hey, Trey Miguel, TNA X Division champion. We're talking, oh yeah, Rascalz, they're doing great in Ring of Honor. Like,
I mean, especially when you're talking about a situation where Leon Slater is obviously heading to WWE. Yeah. The X Division is young. They've kind of fell back on the moose crutch here for the past few months, so they need to reestablish themselves. Bringing back Trey Miguel and pushing him as the homegrown TNA star who is rebuilding himself, kind of thing, might be exactly the direction they need to go. TNA has pulled stuff out of worse situations in the past.
And like you were saying too about their fan base, how they can be very forgiving and very loving to their, you know what I mean? Like, and it's not like, it's not like he did like the Tessa Blanchard situation.
Well, you know what though? Dunn did what now? Brought up one word. It's Tessa. And Tessa has been accepted back into that company. Like,
right. The fans have given her a bunch of crap, but they've used that to their advantage. I'm saying, like, with him, they could easily make it to where if the fans embrace him and, like you said, make him that hometown kid, like
they already forgave him.
That would be really fun to see. And like you said, too, Leon Slater's, the moment that contract with TNA ends, he's gone. He might be gone sooner. Who knows?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying with Trey. Like, I kind of do that sometimes. I apologize. Where it's like I'll start going one direction. Then as I'm talking, I'll listen to myself
You're
and go the other.
beautiful, sir.
Yeah.
You're fine. Don't worry.
But when it comes to Trey, I don't know. I think like Santana, like we talked about at the start of this, like I never would have imagined Santana having the run he's having, and I really like him now. Like Santana is just he's been such a breakout.
I could see Santana main eventing WWE pay-per-views in 5 years. Like that's how good he is. You know?
I can see that. I can see that.
And Ortiz is doing back and forth, running the room.
He's what they wanted Damian Priest to be, in my opinion.
That's a good call.
I think that's probably accurate. Like, I don't know. Santana's just real, man. Like so many of these people out there, be it your Swerves or I mean, I like Damian Priest. I'm not gonna give him much of a hard time. But like then you look at a Santana and like that is what I imagine. Like when I think of like old school wrestlers, Santana. Like Santana's a guy that like
he's your Pedro.
When you see him on TV, forget about who he is as a casting, like when you see him on TV, like whether this is him or not, when the cameras turn off, you think it is, you believe it.
Right.
When he says he's going to hurt someone, you believe he can do it. When he wrestles, his style, it is something that is believable. It works well. It plays to the audience well. He's the guy.
Real. He is
authentic.
He acts like a real guy.
Yeah. And
authenticity is the word I think of with him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's exactly it. And like that's what you want from your stars. You want something that you believe in. You want something that feels like it jumps off the TV screen. And when I listen to Santana talk, I just get it. Like he just has it.
Yeah.
And
whatever it is, he's got it.
And I think that like I don't know shit about Trey. Like to keep this like a buck. Like I have not watched much TNA. I'm not familiar with the Rascalz game. But what I will say is that like wrestling is one of those things where if you understand it, if you love it, you put the work in, you keep your nose to the grind, and you look for the right opportunities, anyone can shock you in any given way.
I will say with Trey Miguel specifically, I think Desmond Xavier is the kind of like he's the guy you look at. Wesley, he's the guy you look at and go, oh, that guy's gonna be a star. Right. When you look at the Rascalz, he's the one that sticks out. He's the one that you see. But I almost want to give Trey Miguel kind of like that Christian role, right? That kind of like level where it's like you look at the one guy and he's the star. But Trey Miguel was the one who was actually doing the work. He was the one that was actually developing
like the Matt Hardy. Yeah.
Like he was the one. He might not have had the look. He might not have been the one that jumped out at you, but he's also the one who was there doing the work every week, cutting the promos, doing, he was the actual motor behind it,
Yeah.
Well, and
I like that.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that sometimes happens with tag teams. Like that's kind of where the Jannetty effect almost comes into play, like the Shawn Michaels and Jannetty effect.
Yeah.
Like I feel like tag teams are a fun thing when you watch younger wrestlers who are coming up, or even like your middle-aged ones. Tag teams can be kind of fun because like if you have the right group of people, like I don't know, like I haven't seen Wes in a minute, but like if him and Trey, actually this is kind of one of the things that sucks. If him and Trey had the same passion for wrestling, but Trey was like putting the work in, like it's gonna suck for Wes because it's possible. And I'm not trying to like wish anything on anyone. It's just like it's possible that Trey may have been that catalyst for the group that was pushing everyone.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like sometimes you have that. Sometimes you have that backbone of a group that like no one really thinks about, and then when they're not there, things change.
I would say that we lost one in the past week with Dango.
Oh
yeah. Oh my God. I was actually really bummed when I heard he retired. I didn't realize that was coming because like I thought he had a great revitalization with TNA. Like it was incredible watching him reinvent himself. Were
you guys hanging around the time when he was like the #1 prospect out of OVW? When he was the one that everyone was talking about?
Yeah,
I heard Johnny Curtis people described him as the next RVD at one point. Like they were just bigging this man up, and his work with the Spirit Squad wasn't well, like he was kind of one of the hard workers there. Yes, time.
Hold on, just 1 second. Can we just back that? Spirit Squad?
Wasn't he in the Spirit Squad?
No, I thought
that was
no.
Kenny
Nick
Dykstra. That was
Nick Nemeth.
Nick Nemeth, Kenny
Right.
Dykstra.
No, Johnny. Though.
Was he Johnny? Because no,
that was Johnny Jeter.
Oh, that was Johnny Jeter. I'm confusing Johnny
Yeah.
Curtis with Johnny
Yeah.
Jeter.
Oh
my
God.
gosh, I'm so embarrassed. Never mind. Everything I said about Johnny Curtis, forget that. It was Johnny Jeter. Johnny Jeter was the one they were saying was going to be RVD.
I thought Kenny Dykstra was going to be the next big thing at one point. That man,
Well, like in Mikey was Mike Mondo, wasn't it? Like
Mikey's still doing great.
He is. Yeah,
Mikey
like they're all
is the NWA world champ or NWA like
the national champion.
National champion.
Yeah, and like Kenny Dykstra's working backstage, and Nick Nemeth is Nick Nemeth. Yeah, no, like that's
regardless. Johnny Curtis was a guy that we were hearing suffer about, and then he got stuck with that Fandango gimmick, and he couldn't get past it in WWE.
No matter what, like even when they changed the music, people were still doing. Oh God, poor guy.
Yeah, but he, I think he eventually kind of got there with. I mean, to be fair though, even that tag team didn't. Like both of them were comprised of people who you thought should be bigger and for some reason weren't.
You know what TNA's legacy is for me, unfortunately, and I'm actually liking the new TNA a little bit. I haven't seen the episodes, but TNA's legacy for me is, damn, I wish this was more interesting so that I could watch it because there's a lot of really cool shit that's happened that I just could not get to.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, TNA has always been the, hey guys, we're just happy we're here.
Well, it's like, I wish I would have been there for Joker Sting.
Joker Sting was awesome.
Like, I wish I would have been there for that.
Yeah,
I wish I would have been there for Dingo.
Like, you think about people they were starting to jump in time travel. They revitalized careers like Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, EC3. I mean,
Christian.
Yeah, Christian
would be
even
nothing.
Cody did a little time
right
there
now.
too. Yeah,
I would
Christian
argue
for sure.
I would argue that Christian would be nothing right now if
That's
not
a
for
good
his
call.
TNA run.
Trinity Fox or Naomi now. I mean, when Naomi left, we thought she was just okay. She's done, and now TNA showed like she could be a star. She could be somebody we look and go, ooh, she's for WrestleMania.
You know why this bums me out?
Why?
This bums me out because it's like, I don't mean to make this about TNA and AEW, but like I can't see AEW doing that for anyone who leaves. Like if God forbid TNA were to go out tomorrow, like I can't see AEW being a place where Drew McIntyre reinvents himself.
No.
I can't see it being a place where Cody Rhodes reinvents himself like today. Like,
right. You know what is though? You know what we have? NWA.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy to see NWA starting to kind of make a comeback a little bit. I'm actually, there's certain evil ones that I won't mention who have me wanting to check it out. So I'm probably going to wind up giving it a check. And MLW is actually not too bad. I enjoy watching MLW from time to time. Well, I have a bias there. My buddy Thomas Russell's there, but I still enjoy it when I watch. He's the number one contender, actually.
NWA is really cool because you look at a guy, Mike Mondo is the guy that always comes to mind for me. Mike Mondo, I interviewed Mike Mondo a decade ago. What a great guy. I expected to come in and interview him for like 5 minutes and just be like, so promote your next Ring of Honor show. That guy sat with me for an hour and a half and he told me stories about Mick Foley and he told me stories about traveling in Africa. And he told me he just wanted to talk forever. And that guy is such a good guy. And the fact that he found himself kind of being like the little Papa Pump type character is so cool. You know, I'm so happy for that man. I've tried to get him on this show a couple times. He hasn't hit me back. I don't think he knows who I am because I went by a different name back then. But he's such a good dude. And I would love to have him on here. He's very, very entertaining.
I want to give 3 people credit though in NWA who should be bigger stars. The Page sisters, who you look at, like they're under 24. They already wrestle like veterans. They get it. They understand how to be heels. And Natalia Markova is somebody you look and go, she could match up with anybody in WWE, AEW, TNA. She looks it. She knows how to present herself. She's beautiful. She can wrestle hardcore, regular. I mean, NWA has good stars. It's sort of like AEW. Unfortunately, the creative is led by one guy. And it's like, okay, they just don't know what they want to do. It's like, are they big guys? Are they weird? You know, too many friends of the owner. It's just, it's not business, unfortunately.
All right. So, once again, thank you guys for hanging out with us. We still got over 100 people in the chat. If you guys want to drop us a like, make sure you do that. If you guys want to be a part of the show, make sure you drop a super chat. We will read your super chat live on the air. $50 or more, we will interrupt the show. We are moving on. I'm going to breeze through this because we still got a couple topics left and we are way past our time. So real quick, we got the TNA. The rating came out. Originally, they said it was 95,000 viewers, and then it switched to that was just a demo. That wasn't a total. We're not really sure how many people. And then it switched to, okay, we have 173,000 viewers for the TNA Impact debut, with the P1849 rating being of 0.04. So it is all over the place right now. Here's what I can say specifically about PW Torch, which are the people who delivered the last bit of information. The last time they made any news involved in ratings, it was when they got the May 17th Dynamite completely wrong and were about 100,000 off in terms of they reported 100,000 less than what they actually got. I am not saying one way or another on whether or not they are right or wrong. I don't know. They did not provide a source, which is the biggest problem. If you are an independent wrestling news organization and you want to be taken seriously when it comes to ratings, you need to provide a source. What I will say is I don't think 173,000 is that bad. I think that is double what they were getting before. And if that's where they are at the start of this deal, that is a good place to grow from.
And this is where the conversation of nuance comes into play. I think 173,000 on AMC is perfectly reasonable, especially when you factor in the fact they have a whole ass subscription service.
And that crashed. On the
did it? I didn't hear that. I was gonna make the joke, like, what are the plus numbers? What are the plus numbers?
People were complaining because TNA Plus kept crashing during the first show, so they were clearly
and there's AMC Plus too. That's like the AMC's got their whole other app too. So
now there's going to be people who would say like, oh, Coke. No. It's like, well, so this is where there's a difference between AEW going to Max and TNA coming to TV. All right, because see, coming to TV, they already have a viewer base that has been installed on the app. So like that is something that has been baked in for a while now. So now TV is theoretically going to be new viewers. Theoretically, I'm not sure that's the case, but like hypothetically, if people have been doing the app, unless they cancel their app for TV, but that feels weird.
They did not. I thought, and I even thought somebody asked me, I believe it was Brad, maybe even messaged me where he said something about, how can we watch it if we don't have it? And I said, I think the TNA app does. And apparently it did, because the TNA app completely crashed.
That's a good sign.
And that is, by the way, that app is using Endeavor technology. So,
right. Forgot about that.
But the point is that it's the first episode, guys. Like there have been plenty of collisions who have gotten below the 0.4 demo. So if they did that, that's kind of why I doubt the number, though, is because that high of a demo doesn't make sense with that low of a total viewer.
Right. That's where I was confused with. Yeah.
It just to imagine that like 90% of the viewers would be of that demo seems a little crazy. So I will say Awful was very adamant about the Torch numbers. So I'm sure we'll argue about this on This Is Awful this weekend.
a little preview.
But
I just want to jump in quickly. It's amazing how the wrestling media seems to want TNA to die. I mean, they give AEW like
And they always have.
Every benefit. Oh, they're bringing in those cute Costco bros. That's great. Perez Hilton comes on. It's like, how dare they? Perez Hilton sucks. He's horrible. But wait, the Rizzler's okay. But I'm not going to say anything mean because I know this will go, you're shadow banned again. So,
Nah. I love you, Chris.
Oh man.
I know,
but it's disheartening how you had all these people going, this show sucks, it's terrible, worst show ever, and yet Darby Allin can be slammed on, steel steps, and it's like great action. 5 out of 5 stars.
Perfect example. Did you see when Moose got backdropped? He did a flat back bump on the flat part of the steel steps. And AEW fans were like, "Oh, so you're gonna call him out like you called out Darby?" And it's like, seriously, dude. The dirt sheets have never liked TNA since day one. They hated TNA. You can go back and look. Dave Meltzer has never said a kind word about TNA. AJ Styles and Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels were in that company, and he never gave any of them 5 stars. And the reason is because he was mad that they were taking talent from Ring of Honor. He's never liked TNA. None of the other, the only dirt sheet that's been fair to TNA is probably PW Insider. And that's because Bob Ryder worked there. Right. So, excuse me. So you're not going to get fair coverage about TNA from any dirt sheet out there. The truth is that AEW is a fun company that's been chugging along and doing their best for over 20 years now. They've somehow survived.
TNA, yeah.
Did I say AEW?
Yep.
My bad.
It's fine. It's fine.
Same thing.
All parallel timeline.
I've been on. We're getting to 2.5 hours here. Give me a break. But they've been a company that's chugged along, and I think that I like to cheer that they will become the number 2 company. I don't believe they will ever be the number 2 company, but I've been saying that for 25 years now. So give me a break, guys. Like, I've been cheering for them for 25 years now.
Yeah. They're the company that won't die. I also think, like, obviously Dave doesn't like, Jared or the Memphis or the Southern Wrestling at all. So because they started with that, like, Dave was never going to give them a chance. And because that's not Dave's ilk. He likes his flippy shit.
Yeah, Dave never liked the Jarretts either.
Yeah, exactly.
So that has a lot to do with it, but
oh, for sure. And but Dave's unbiased. You just got to read his stuff. Not gonna
speaking.
Now that's a transition, people.
Except I don't know where the thing is. Yeah, I messed up, guys. Try it again. Say that part again.
Speaking of,
well, I mean, Dave's always going to have his bias because
we have a brand new iteration of That's Dave for you today. I got 2 things coming up on the docket. First off, this first one comes from a few weeks ago. Let's take a look at Dave Meltzer talking about Dominic Mysterio.
You're in the ESPN Awards.
I did not.
Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, really? The rest of the year? Wow.
It's like
that's incredible.
It's like I don't really care about awards other than our awards.
I don't care about awards other than our awards. I don't care about any awards other than the second most meaningless awards in wrestling.
Did Tony get mad that he doesn't care about the SI awards?
Are actually voted by our readers, who are actually generally far more knowledgeable than non-readers.
Oh, they're generally far more. Anyone who doesn't subscribe to the Wrestling Observer is generally far more unknowledgeable than.
He's not coping well with this.
With anything, as all of it.
I did not.
The results will always show. I like the guy, and he's good. He main evented 0 pay-per-views.
AAA. I'm pretty sure. I mean, Okay, would you say now in the terms of main event, when you was the new definition of main event, I'd argue that he main evented against John Cena. If you you go the modern definition of main event, I would say that. But
in San Diego, for sure.
I also don't. Go ahead.
I'll say he's definitely main evented at least one, I think 2 of the AAA, like the big shows, because he's got their belt, like when he beat Vikingo, and you know what I mean? Like that's.
And I also don't think a man who constantly praises Bandito as being the best wrestler in the world didn't main event a show as your criteria for why he can't be wrestler of the year.
Dave is just, I don't know. I hate giving his opinion so much weight because really he doesn't know shit. He is an old man.
There's still this if people stopped paying attention to him, if people didn't completely parrot his opinions.
Oh, I get it. I know why we talk about it
again. I feel like we are a firewall. I know for a fact that we have changed people's opinions on Dave Meltzer.
No, I definitely understand it. I'm not trying to say we shouldn't talk about him or anything. I'm just like, my God, this man. I
can't believe he's
Baghdad Bob. Remember the guy who used to say, "What? We have a United States enemy on the run. They're coming over the hills," and he's oblivious. That's Dave Meltzer, Baghdad Bob, as I call him.
I really can't believe that he is still relevant, and I'm trying my hardest to make him not relevant by showing how dumb he is.
Yeah.
Main evented virtually no house shows. He, was not even pushed.
They had
got one of CM Punk's first matches back,
and they had like 5 house shows. To use that as your criteria of why he can't be men's wrestler of the year is ridiculous.
How many house shows AEW doing, Dave? How many house shows Bandito fucking headline?
Well, I mean, hey, listen, AEW House Rules was a total success if you don't go with if you exclude the fact they couldn't get their talent to actually do the shows.
Right.
Jeff Jarrett tried to do that for what, 6 weeks?
Never even had a world championship feud that he lost.
So is the AEW title not a world championship?
The AAA.
I mean,
title.
I'm sorry, AAA title. Is that not a world championship?
That he beat Vikingo for. Wasn't Vikingo Dave's favorite wrestler until WWE bought AAA?
Yes.
Well, you have to remember, okay? If AAA was working with AEW, then it would be a world title. But because it's a subsidiary of TKO now, it doesn't mean anything.
Gotcha. Okay. Makes sense.
He was never pushed in the upper echelon. He was pushed in that middle echelon. The only time he ever appeared to be a guy who you would consider this for would have been the shows in Mexico, where, in fact, when he does come out, he does have that feeling of a major superstar. But even so, even if you're going to do it based on Mexico, I mean, in Mexico, obviously, Mystico is so far and away the wrestler.
Oh, shut up. Do we want to get into Mystico's thing where he apparently stopped in the middle of the match and said, I can't do that because of copyright reason?
Here, I'll give you my hot take. Dominic Mysterio is better than MJF by a mile.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't need to curse. He doesn't need to, go over the top, use sexual terms. He's become so hated, he's been turned babyface. And it took John Cena to turn him back heel again. I don't care what you think. And look, I was not a Dominic fan when he first started. I wasn't a Dominic fan when he first joined Judgment Day. He has won me over. He is the most over, the most interesting man in the world, Dos Equis.
Yeah.
He's the most over guy in the world, Dos Equis.
MJF is an attraction. Dominic Mysterio is a star.
Yeah, Dominic
Mysterio. That's a good
Mysterio.
way to put it.
Dominic Mysterio is going to carry that company one day. There will be a time when Dominic Mysterio is the biggest star in the biggest wrestling company in the world. Boris, by the way, the last year Davis says that Triple Paul was the booker of the year. Yes, he did. And the only reason I thought it was funny was because Tony got sad about it. That was
he couldn't complete that banner that he hung up in Daly's place.
Nope. Rumor has it, though,
from that region, so he's not that either. So it's like, there's like weird ones, but that's like you know, it's like it's not John Cena who, you know, they spent the whole year building around. Not Cody, who was world champion all year, set records in all these buildings as a main eventer. You know, Jey Uso, who the place went crazy for on all these shows. Not that I thought he deserved Wrestler of the Year for WWE at all anyway.
Of course.
Not anyone from AEW, you know, Moxley or Adam Page or whatever. And it's just like I wouldn't have Dominic probably in the top 20.
What? Okay,
Oh, good
you're
God.
done.
Yeah, that's
You
you're
want to
cut
say
off.
Dom
So-
isn't in, you want to say Dom isn't the best wrestler of the year? Fine. Top 20. Seriously?
Dominic Mysterio, I just found this out, has been in Wingstop commercials,
Yep.
lids. He's been, you know,
The
had
videos for the
national TV
Padres?
spots, an ice spot. I mean, look, I get it. He's not the AEW flippy dippy. Hey, let me do 360 moves. But God damn it, this kid just, and I hate saying kid, he's 20 years old, but he has become a brand ambassador, you know, cross national star. And he's done it the old fashioned way. He's been a chicken shit heel, and yet
He's so good at it.
I know. I mean, he's what they wanted Hook to be. Remember when we say, "Oh, Hook and Mysterio,
Yes.
neck and neck." Now it feels like if you say that, you are a Tony Khan ass kiss club member.
Dom tells stories. That's the thing. Like he actually, he doesn't do the flippy dippy moves and he doesn't just go from spot to spot. He actually has wrestling matches. He tells a story with it. Like he knows what he's doing. Like, and MJF can do that. The problem is when he has to wrestle Bandito and they have to go 26 minutes and he has to give Bandito 18 minutes of offense or whatever. But Dom, I mean, it was sometime around the whole prison thing that he started to win me over. Because I was the same thing as you, Chris. I was like, he's a Nepo baby. This babyface runs terrible. The heel turn was fun, but I didn't think anything was going to come out of it. And then all of a sudden it was like, I love watching this kid on my TV. And I'm the same as you. I keep calling him a kid, but he's still that 11-year-old in the ladder match in my
For
mind.
real. Dom was somebody that he's one of the reasons that I stopped watching WWE. And now he's one of the reasons that I love WWE. Like he's gone so far, you know.
So,
and he put in the work.
Boris, you got to be trolling me. Where is Dom's great matches?
That's
Dom
Boris. That's Boris. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Come on,
That's
Boris.
his job.
Come on.
That's his job. That's his job. He's
Because he's looking for
versus
spot fest.
John Cena. Dom versus Dragon Lee wasn't bad. I liked it. Dom versus Penta's pretty solid.
I will say, okay, Dom is not a. If I'm talking about Chris Benoit or Dean Malenko or AJ, if I'm talking about the greatest of all time,
was great. Or
Dom,
Gunther, I mean,
Dom is not there yet.
No,
I'll give you that. But
I'm
he's
not
also
gonna-
28.
I'm not going to sit here and say that Dom's going to knock your socks off with the wrestling. That's not the argument here. The argument here is that as a complete package, right?
Yeah.
As the complete package in terms of someone that you can go and make money with, right? When I'm comparing him versus AJF and I say MJF is an attraction, Dominic Mysterio is a star. They just highlighted all the things for you. Dominic Mysterio is a national attraction. I think MJF could be a star. I think he is. I think he's at the very least he could hit a B tier star. I think he's got a lot of charisma to him. I think he's got a lot of personality to him. But if I'm a wrestling promoter right now with their current skill sets, with their name value and all that stuff, I just think Dominic Mysterio sells more tickets.
Well, tomorrow they could decide, you know what? We want Dominic Mysterio to be a heartthrob babyface, pure white meat babyface who all the girls are going to have pictures of in their lockers. And you know what? It would work and he would be over.
Right. But real quick, sorry. I'm just going back and forth with Boris. I apologize.
You're one guy. No, I'm joking.
I'm being one guy. No, I'm having a conversation with the chat.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
I'm engaging.
No,
I'm
no.
engaging.
I'm engaging this. No.
Yeah.
All I'm saying here is, I'm saying this because I actually have liked Forrest's feedback that I'm finally. No, it's just one of those things where I understand what you're saying when you say respectfully, complete package includes matches. Well, yeah, of course it includes matches, but like if he's blowing the doors off of all of the other check boxes, having C plus or B minus matches isn't going to be enough to take an A plus down to a C. It's going to take an A plus down to an A minus. Whereas I think MJF is a B plus right now. They're both respectable. I like both of them for different reasons. I'm not like it's rude of me to compare them, but like I'm comparing them because of the fact that's just kind of what an entertainment business is about. Like,
no, I think the worst part about MJF right now is that he is being used incorrectly. The fact that they're they keep trying to add dimension to him, and the only way they can figure out to add dimension to him is by making him not such a bad guy, is completely against what MJF is as a character. If you want to change him as a character, that's fine, but you cannot take the MJF heartless a-hole character and suddenly be like, but he likes kittens. Like it doesn't work that way. You got to actually do something, and the Adam Page stuff was working, or the Adam Cole stuff. Adam Cole stuff was working for a while until it didn't.
Oh yeah. Right? Yeah. And my last one guy, I agree. MJF is a superior in-ring wrestler today.
Yeah, right. I will agree with that too.
I want to tell back on it quickly.
Okay, go ahead.
I was thinking, I have the perfect comparison. Dominic Mysterio, he's Ric Flair. He knows how to wrestle as a heel. He's not trying to get over. Like MJF sometimes wrestles as a baby face, and that's what a crowd cheers because look at those big moves he's hitting, and the crowd gets into it. Dom knows what he's supposed to do. I am a heel. I want people to boo me. I'm going to wrestle as a heel. I'm going to do all the chicken crap moves. I'm going to be cowardly. I'm going to hide. But it's the brilliance of it. Ric Flair could be one of those workhorses and be a babyface when you need to, but when he wrestles as a heel, he went, okay, I got to get this guy over.
I'm going to push back a little bit.
Supposed to be about.
I'm going to push back a little bit, and it's just because this is one of the rare and Chris, this is one of the very rare complaints I've had about Dom Mysterio because I love Dominic Mysterio. He played to the crowd a whole lot at WrestleMania, and he plays to the crowd a whole lot when they go close to Mexico. And there is a bit of him that still wants the pops. And I will say that I think that MJF left to his own devices would not be doing that. I think that him playing for the crowd is something that is pushed to him by AEW because they want him to be a more quote unquote well-rounded character where MJF works better as a heel. And I think that Dom, while I think that it's fine for his character, I don't think it's a problem. I will say that if I'm describing the perfect heel, I'm going to complain about Dom Mysterio playing to the crowd at WrestleMania. I'm going to complain a little bit about Dom playing to the crowd. It is what ended the booze so loud he can't talk era. Right? Like, remember, for a long time, he couldn't speak without the crowd being loud.
Yeah.
And then he got to the point where, and Chris, it is an evolution of his character. It is the right direction to go. Dom Mysterio will be a white meat top baby face within 3 years from now. He will be there, and this is the evolution. But to sit here and talk about him being a great heel and stuff, it's hard to talk about that without mentioning the moments that he had where he decided that he was going to be a babyface.
But how much of that is by design, though? I mean,
true. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I think that's WWE's plan. Is like, hey, you know what? We want to turn this guy babyface. He is marketable. He's young. We have an older roster. We need that white meat babyface.
Yeah, totally.
Cody retires. So I think WrestleMania is when they went, okay, you know what? We're going to do the turn. And then we're going to have Finn Balor basically turn on him. And unfortunately, they've had to sort of flip things over because they start all of a sudden looked and went, well, Balor's just not over. Dom is still just, we still need him to hold that IC and be the heel in Mexico. But the plan has always been, I thought, okay, this is going to be the year. Braun's up now. Oba's up. They're the monsters. They're the big heels. Dom's going to be now the new baby face. We're eventually even going to have Judgment Day kick him out.
No, totally agree. Totally agree. I'm just saying that people talk so much about how Dom still has that mega awful crazy heat, and it's like he kind of doesn't anymore. But I do think it is by design, and I do think it's the direction they're going. Time, you had something here, and then we're gonna move on.
All right.
We got one more thing to cover here.
I lost track of what I was going to say, actually.
Okay.
So
well, then
not that important.
The other thing I have to add is
remember,
that the Dom turn, it'll be something with Liv. Either she'll cheat on him or something, or that'll be something with that where that breakup will send him to be a massive baby face.
I would love to see. Honestly, go ahead.
Sorry. I remember. No, I was going to say is I think to everyone else's, I think to Chris's point, was that I actually agree. I think a lot of this is by design. I think that WWE likes to tell some long-term stories, and I think a lot of these, like him playing to the crowd, is kind of a conflict of a crisis of conscience of sorts.
Yes.
I think that there's moments where Dominic kind of like wants to be loved by people. He wants to be loved by the fans. He like him trying to say he's the greatest Mysterio is to try and get people's love and adulation,
right?
A little bit. So like I feel like I have no idea if this happens, but like I feel like there's gonna be something like where I have this headcanon that's probably garbage, but like I had in my head for some reason I can't help but feel like Gunther's eventually gonna put Mysterio in it, like Ray in his target, and could ultimately end up retiring Ray, which is where the Dom turn starts, and Dom goes after vengeance for his father or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I could see that.
I could see that. That'd be fun.
All right. Well, I had another thing, but we will save that because man, we have gone on. We are a bunch of we are a bunch of talkative white boys here.
Let's chatty Cathy's it.
Close this.
Tooney Talk Wrestling. Good job.
For you. So let's get into we had one. We named the show. It's the thumbnail. I have to talk about it. AJ Styles, man. So AJ and we do have more, by the way. We'll probably get to it on This Is Awful or maybe Tooney Talk next week. I got more Dave stuff. I got Tony accepting Fightful awards. I got Blake Bortles from Good Place fame talking about AEW with a gun held to his head. We got all kinds of stuff that we didn't get to tonight. But AJ Styles, I think, deserves the final story here. So we're at a point now where AJ Styles and Gunther are going to have there's going to be a retirement match at Royal Rumble where if AJ Styles loses, apparently he is going to retire. We all know that AJ Styles has been itching to retire for the past 5 years, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Every chance he gets, he's just like, I'm going to retire. No, I'm serious. I'm going to retire. Like, he wants to retire. That man wants to go home and be with his kids.
Well, he can still walk. I don't blame him.
Right. But the thing is that they just teased the whole thing on TNA. And the retirement here at Royal Rumble seems very rushed. Now, I think that we all expect Gunther to be the one that retires AJ Styles. Do we think it's going to happen at Royal Rumble? I'm going to go with Jake first. Jake, what do you think?
Is it retiring his wrestling career or just from WWE? And
that's the thing is that I want to see more.
Yeah,
I want to see the advertisement leading up to it and stuff like that because
because the TNA thing, like it's he needs to do something with them to help them. I mean, if they're having 175,000 people, like they can get more. AJ Styles is a draw, like
teased it.
Yeah. And like the Leon Slater stuff is right there. Like you need like a one-on-one match with the past versus the future. Like it's just right there. There's so much for him to do. So I could easily see like that's how they send him to TNA storyline wise. Like he retires from, and then he can come back and have like one last WWE match at next year's Mania or something. I don't know.
Well, he to be fair, he is not talking the big game that John Cena did.
Right. Yeah. It's not a retirement tour. He's not doing
right. He's not saying this is my retirement tour after my last match. I'll never wrestle again. He's not doing all that. So, it'll be interesting to see where.
And Gunther could easily get a DQ so that like AJ wins, but he doesn't actually like pin Gunther or something. There's options within there.
So, real quick, I'm going to move on to time after this, but actually, I'll move on to Chris. But but I do want to say, Boris said if he's finished at the Rumble, I think he jumps. AJ Styles has made it very clear that he wants a job backstage in WWE. That he wants to, like, be a guy who works as a trainer or as an agent or something in WWE. I don't think he's going to throw that away to have a match with Kenny Omega that no one's going to remember,
or watch
or care about. Like if he was going to jump to AEW, he would have jumped to AEW already, in my opinion. But Chris, what do you think? You think that his last match is at Royal Rumble, or you think this is
because I just in my heart of hearts they want to have one more WrestleMania with him. He's one of the because I keep thinking like you brought it up on This Is Awful. Is he a TNA guy? Is he a WWE guy? He's both. I mean, he was the one who the house that the house that Styles built in TNA. He also did that in SmackDown. Like he revolutionized John Cena in John Cena's later career. So I think Brock Lesnar gets involved somehow, costs Gunther the match.
Okay.
And then that leads to then Gunther and Lesnar at WrestleMania because it then gives a reason why Brock Lesnar is why Gunther's calling him out, why Lesnar would answer. I think after maybe Money in the Bank, that's when Styles does a 2-month TNA tour, plays the hits, and then he calls it quits. But while he still has his health.
All right. Time, what are you thinking?
I think it is legit to some degree. I do think he winds up popping up in TNA after it's done for a little bit, for like one or two things, because I could see him and Kaz doing something. But I do think his time in WWE is coming to end.
No, wait. You mean his time as a talent or his time in the company as a whole?
As a in-the-ring talent for WWE, I think, barring some kind of like one-off match here and there, I think that he is. I think he's going to be retiring as in-ring talent here soon.
I don't know. I think something might. I think something might happen at Royal Rumble. I think there might be a situation where AJ tricks Gunther and squeaks out a win. Regardless of what happens at Royal Rumble, though, his career is coming to an end. The man looks like he wants to retire. The man looks tired.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No. I didn't realize you were going to keep going.
No, I was just saying, every time you see the man, he looks exhausted. You know what I mean? Like, he just looks like he is ready to breathe. And he keeps talking in interviews how he wants to be a dad. He wants to be a
he's got like 5 kids,
husband.
right?
Yeah, and he's never been able to do that. I think it's possible that he kind of went, you know what, man? I'm done after Rumble. I'm done. I'll go and I'll do a couple spots in TNA or something like that. But I'm ready. I think he would have retired last year if it wasn't for John Cena.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, the guy has been around long enough that he wrestled in WCW.
Yeah. When you say that out loud, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
He wrestled for ECW.
He was young.
Yeah.
Like he was so young back then. Like, he's been doing this for so goddamn long, man. Like, I could totally see him just waking up one day during the Christmas break and just being like, I can't do this for another year.
Yeah.
If the Rumble wasn't in Saudi, I'd agree with you guys. It's just
that's where Mike.
I hadn't considered that.
TKO will go, yeah. By the way, you're getting the last AJ Styles match in Saudi Arabia. I think people would get pissed again.
I could see him beating Gunther. Like, I could see it. I could definitely.
Like, Gunther gets too cocky and he's too full of himself because of where he's been.
Because that's his character. Like, that's just Gunther. Gunther's just a cocky sack of shit. If he thinks that he's got AJ in like the bad spot, like, I could totally see Gunther looking past the wily vet. But I don't know.
There's no one in the world who loses anything by losing to AJ Styles at this point. Right? Like, AJ Styles is a bona fide legend. He is above all that. He can beat anyone at any time, at any match, and no one will think anything of it because he's AJ Styles. So the idea that he'll beat Gunther, and I imagine if he did, it would be some kind of like weird squeaky. He'd beat him the exact way he beat him.
Right, like he does the tap move. Yeah.
Right. Like it's something that it's like a veteran would do. But Gunther doesn't lose anything by it. Gunther gets his win back later.
Well,
I think that regardless go ahead.
You know what's convincing me it's going to happen?
What?
It's not satisfying.
Yeah.
It's not satisfying, and they're trying to get people to boo Gunther. What better way for people to get pissed off and boo Gunther more than to give them one of the most unsatisfying retirements you could have had? A rushed AJ Styles retirement.
And there could always be AJ is not talking the big game that John Cena is. So AJ could always have kind of a screwy match where he gets screwed out of his career. You know what I mean?
We get the return of the Midnight Rider, baby.
I mean, he gets screwed out of his career. He goes to TNA to redeem himself, quote unquote.
Right.
And then he ends up back in WWE at some point to have his real retirement match because Adam Pearce decides that wasn't the right way to send him out. And, because he's not talking the big game that John Cena did, he has that leeway to do the wrestler thing. Where the wrestler thing is, go and come and go and come.
Yeah, I can definitely see him losing in some non-satisfying way that leaves a bad taste in his mouth and leads him back to TNA looking to like kind of it brings him back with the like that kind of what's the name of his song? Like that bad but it just brings him back to like that vibe of AJ, just like that kind of like outlaw
phenomenal.
The phenomenal AJ, I walk alone, brooding. I can see that. I can see that happening.
Yeah,
I do think that
absolutely fantasy book,
and I do think that he is the kind of guy who would care about ending his career in TNA. I think that might mean something to him.
I agree. There's a part of me that thinks the guy who's going to retire AJ is Trick Williams, because it's sort of they want to get some of these guys over. They want to have like the passing of a torch. Gunther, he's already getting Lesnar at WrestleMania. That's the report. Trick needs something to go like people and take notice.
Nah, I don't. I think that the retirement path right now is you have Gunther. Let's put all that heat in the Gunther bag, and then he can spread it out later. I think if you start getting guys like Trick, like honestly, that's why I think that doing a thing where he loses to Gunther in a screwy fashion at Royal Rumble and then goes back to TNA, at that point, I would have Leon Slater be the guy. Like Leon Slater be the guy who ends it officially, finally at the end. Because
I get at the end, but I mean for WWE, I think they look and go, we want Trick Williams to do something.
Maybe.
But again, who knows? And I think the Saudi thing is just for. I just can't see them going. Yeah, we're going to give Saudi another thing, even though we're going to give Saudi WrestleMania next year.
It does feel like a swerve. This does feel like a swerve. Let's get that. I do think that the sudden, it's going to be a retirement match. All of that does feel like your typical, hey, we're going to have a great Unreal season 3 based on this.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and they are filming that right now, apparently. So maybe that's where they're going with it. But we will be covering it. I'll tell you that much. I know Jake's going to be there. I know Chris, you're going to be there for the Rumble, correct?
Yes, I'll be ready for the Rumble. I'll be up and having breakfast during the Rumble.
There you go. Maybe we'll have time hanging out with us. Awful will be there. I'll be there. We're all going to be watching the Rumble, doing some kind of Rumble pool and watching the possible last AJ Styles match ever with you guys. So we will be there. That is next Sunday. But as you can tell, we are closing out the show because I can barely talk at this point. So we are.
Yeah, we gave him 3 hours. That's
I was
good.
delivered a kimchi pancake.
Ooh, beautiful. So I really do want to thank you guys for hanging out with us for 3 hours tonight. Oh yeah, Mr. Jamie Jam points out this is AJ's 10th year anniversary with WWE.
Oh yeah, 2016. Yeah.
So that does add a little bit to it, but all right. So I'm gonna let these guys go ahead and plug stuff first. Chris, what you got coming up?
So yeah, we're gonna be dropping tomorrow. We spoke with Monty of the very popular Giants podcast, which is we're gonna be talking about Tom Coughlin hire. We're gonna be talking about, of course, what's going on with the draft for them. It's Monty of He's a Giant Pod, the co-host there. And later this week, I'm going to be talking with Bill Sparks of Sparks Scouting, a Cleveland NFL writer, talking about the draft, coaching hires, what's going on. And again, I hope I'm back on the show again. Tell Awful, I promise, no more bleep comparing him to a three-letter wrestler. Right?
Had I known you were a Giants fan, I would have bounced long ago.
I'm not a Giants fan, but I got to talk Harbaugh because I know Giants fans like, we got Harbaugh, we're winning the Super Bowl. Like, okay, let's settle down.
I've said it in the past few weeks. I do want to make this show more of a panel show, and 4 people to me is the optimal number. So we'll definitely be seeing more. Chris will definitely be seeing more time when he can show up. We're going to kind of try to cycle people in and out. We don't know, Awful will be here when he can be. I'll be here when I can be. We might have different hosts some week, but Tooney Talk Wrestling, we want to continue to be this panel topic conversation. So Alt Jake, what do you got?
Yeah, no, follow me at Alt Jake Takes On YouTube or X. We do a live show every Thursday where we review Dynamite in full, so you guys don't have to watch it. We'll tell you everything that happens to keep you up to date on it. We usually watch any Tony live videos too, so I'm glad we didn't get to the one with him with the award because I'll watch it live on Thursday. We also do a Sunday discussion show on YouTube around 8 p.m. Eastern. And the Thursday shows at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Come hang out. Subscribe. That's really what we're looking for. We are on the march to 500, and we get closer every day. We got 2 or 3 subscribers during this show. So thank you, chat. Please. I appreciate every single one of you. Come on over and subscribe.
Jake, clearly the most famous person on Tooney Talk Wrestling. Seriously.
I've seen out in public, baby.
You motherfucker. Doing this over 2 years. 2 years.
I didn't know. I felt so bad because I didn't know what to say to the kid because I was like, "Are you kidding me? What? What has happened?"
All right. Time. I know you don't got much to plug, but
if you want to check out my buddies over at YouTube, over on YouTube, Start Button Live, I help them write their shows. But other than that, I am a man who barely uses his X. You can find me at time_traveling. But I have not much to say these days. I kind of try and keep my head down and avoid getting myself in trouble.
And he will be helping me out with some stuff here soon. I'm to understand. So, but I only say that to let you know that Time is a part of the family. He is one of us. So.
Oh yeah. I'm always working on stuff. I'm working on all sorts of stuff in the background. The reality is I come on here to hang out. I don't have anything to pitch. I do shit with people.
That is kind of what we want this show to be, right? So going forward, I just want to say that on Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central Time, you can hang out over with me and Awful Wrestling on his channel, youtube.com/Awful Wrestling at AEWFUL Wrestling. And we do This Is Awful. We're going to probably cover Saturday night's main event and whatever else Awful gets stuck up his ass over the next 5 days. We'll probably complain about. And we got that, and then we got Tooney Talk Wrestling next week. We got our Royal Rumble show, which we will be covering all of the Royal Rumble, and we will have a crew for that. We were doing a Royal Rumble pool, so if you want to be involved in that, make sure you join the Discord. You can message me at aka_dis_ on Twitter at I'm sorry, I keep saying at, but it's AEW Disciplinary Committee at gmail.com. You can message me there. I will hook you up with anything you want. And I think that is about it. We still got the Blake Bortles We still got the Dave stuff. We will get to that next week. But for now, I think that's it. You guys want to say goodbye? Anybody have anything to say on your way out?
Peace. No, I'm good. This was fun.
No,
All right.
Thank you for bringing back on. Can't wait to come back on again.
So for Tooney Talk Wrestling, now get out of here!
Now, Perry the Platypus, feel the wrath of my thank you-inator!
Thank you, you piece of trash.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you! Oh, I suppose you want me to say thank you. Well, you know what? Saying thank you is like jobbing. Thank you!
I got a little message. Thank you. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, thank you! Oh, thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you!
Thanks? For what?
Hi-ho from all of us here at Tooney Town. Thank you!
And viewers like you. Thank you.